right in. Oh, George, we've got company.
Well, it's Tuesday night again. Time for another pleasant visit with George Burns and Gracie Allen, our guests, Jack Benny, Jimmy Cash, Felix Mills and his orchestra, and the Swantette. And now, meet the people who live in the Burns house, George and Gracie. Well, it's morning in the Burns home, and George is just coming downstairs to leave for the office.
Good morning, dear.
Good morning, darling. Look what the postman just brought you. A present from Pat O'Brien.
Oh, I bet Pat is sorry he started that rumor about me being a juggler. Open the package, dear.
All right.
I met him yesterday, and I told him a few jokes. I guess that convinced him I was a comedian. What are you laughing about? What's in the package?
A set of Indian clubs.
Next time I get my hands on that
Oh,
Irishman,
cheer
believe
up,
me.
George. Before long, everybody will know that you're not a juggler. They'll know you for what you really are.
And, what is that?
Well, a singer, of course.
Oh, that. Oh, sure.
I wrote to our sponsor and suggested that you sing on our program every week.
That's the 12th time.
Yeah, but this time he answered.
Say, that's a good sign. Open the letter.
Wait till Bing Crosby hears you sing. He'll retire and start to raise a family.
Oh, Gracie. I'm not better than Crosby. As good, maybe, but, well, open the letter. What does the sponsor say?
Believe me, there are plenty of other big programs that would like to have George Burns as a singer.
Gracie, the letter. Open it. Well?
George, what are some of the other big programs?
Turn me down again, huh?
Oh, never mind, dear. You're a great singer. Even Bill Goodwin said with a voice like yours, you ought to sing in our big Army show.
Army show?
Yes, it's in charge of some officer named Major Bowes.
I'll forget it. I better get along to the office.
Yeah, I'll ride down in the bus with you. I have an appointment at the beauty shop.
Okay, let's go.
No way. Before we leave, won't you sing something just for me?
Oh, Gracie.
Oh, please, dear. Just one little glorious burst of melody.
Well, all right. Just a gigolo. Everywhere I go, people know the part I'm playing.
Oh, you're wonderful. I won't be happy until your voice leaves the whole world the way it leaves me, weak and limp.
Thanks.
Oh, come on. I'm due at the beauty shop in 5 minutes.
Well, what will it be today, Mrs. Burns? A shampoo and set?
Oh, yes, and I'm kind of in a hurry, Josie.
Well, I'll do my best, Mrs. Burns, but we're short-handed, and I have to work on the customer in the next booth, too. The old horse face, I hope he chokes.
He? You mean there's a man in the next booth?
Well, sort of a man.
Josie, where are you?
Oh, that's him. I wish he'd go sit on a hot curling iron.
Josie, come back here. This finger wave of mine stinks.
No, that voice is awfully familiar. I wonder who...
Josie, do you hear me? This finger wave stinks.
All right. Leave your hair on the table, and I'll do it over again.
No, Josie. I'm sure I know that man. What's his name?
I'm not allowed to tell, Mrs. Burns. The old goat scared the newspapers might find out he goes to a beauty shop.
Oh, come on, Josie. Give me a little hint.
Well, he's the stingiest man in Hollywood.
Oh, stingy, huh?
And how? When he gets a mud pack, we have to save the mud for him so he can put it in his victory garden.
Funny. I can't get it from that. Give me another hint.
Well, let's see. He used to drive an old broken-down Maxwell.
No, it's no use. I can't guess who it is.
You're not missing anything. He's tried to date every girl in town, and nobody will go out with him.
Oh, hello, Jack. How's Mary?
Gracie, is that you?
Well, yeah, come on into my booth, Jack.
Oh, sure.
Well, hello, Gracie. I guess you're surprised to see me here.
Well, yes, I am.
Well, you see, Mary lost her bobby pin the last time she was here. I dropped by to look for it. You know what the bobby pin situation is. Terrible.
Oh, sure.
I bet you thought I was here to get a beauty treatment. Gracie, you sound like you don't believe me.
Maybe that's because I don't.
Well, if I'm lying, may something terrible happen to Phil Harris.
Mr. Benny.
Yes?
Here's your mud. I wrapped it up for you.
Oh, well. Phil always played too loud anyway.
Well, Jack Benny in a beauty shop. Wait till the girls hear this.
Now, Gracie, look, you must...
Oh, hello, Gracie.
Oh, hello, Bill.
Why, Jack Benny, what are you doing here?
Well, I'll tell you, Bill. He's...
Well, Bill Goodwin in a beauty shop. Wait till the girls hear this, huh, Gracie?
Wait a minute,
Well, Bill,
Oh, Bill Goodwin has beauty treatment. That's really something to tell the girls, huh, Gracie?
Hey, look.
Well, Bill,
Well, Bill Goodwin in a beauty shop. Really, I thought that curly hair wasn't natural.
Now, wait a minute. No girl in this shop has ever laid a hand on me. Except, of course, after working hours.
Oh.
What are you doing here, Benny?
Well, I'll tell you, Bill. Jack is...
Bill Goodwin in a beauty shop. I'm getting manicures and everything.
I am not.
Well, Bill...
Bill Goodwin in a beauty shop. And to have his eyebrows plucked. That's something.
Now, look, Jack. What I want to know is, what's Jack Benny doing here?
Well, I'll tell you, Bill.
Bill Goodwin. Oh, nuts. Goodbye. Gracie, look, for heaven's sake, don't let out my secret. I mean, I don't want everyone I meet to know I've been taking beauty treatment.
Oh, don't worry, Jack. They'll never suspect it.
Well, anyway, don't you tell. If the newspapers get hold of it, I'm cooked. And you know how the gang would kid me on my program.
Oh, yeah, your program. Jack, you don't want this to get in the papers, huh?
No, I'll do anything to keep it out, Gracie. Anything.
Oh, good. Starting Sunday, Jack, George will sing on your program.
George?
Yes.
Sing?
Uh-huh.
Gracie, I've heard prettier noises come out of Carmen Lombardo.
I see. Well, excuse me, Jack. I'm going to telephone a little news item to the paper.
Wait. Oh, you mean George Burns?
Yes.
Oh, George, your husband.
Yes.
Oh, old Sugar Throat.
Sure.
Oh, well, I don't suppose it would hurt if George sang on my program once.
Well, I was thinking of having him sing every week.
No.
No, well, I'll call the paper.
But, Gracie, this is blackmail.
I know. Cute of me, huh?
Yeah, cute.
Well, we're back at the Burns home now. Jack Benny is pleading with Gracie to change her mind as they wait for George to come home from the office.
But why does it have to be my program, Gracie? I mean, why don't you have George sing on Eddie Cantor's program?
Well, because I didn't catch Eddie Cantor in a beauty shop with his toupee and curlers.
Hey, there must be some other show he can go on. Maybe Gabriel Heater needs a singer. Or Mr. Anthony. I mean, why don't you let George be his problem?
Oh, you amaze me. How can Jack Benny, who has the greatest talent in the world, fail to recognize George's talent?
Oh, do you really think I have the greatest talent in the world?
Well, certainly. Rochester, Dennis Day, Mary Livingston.
Oh, I see.
And now I've got a big thrill for you. I have your program for next Sunday night all planned.
You have?
Yes. It'll be the new and entertaining Jack Benny program featuring George Burns, California's answer to Frank Sinatra.
I can't do it, Gracie. I mean, I can't allow George to sing.
Well, shall I call the papers and tell them about the beauty shop?
He sings.
Now, listen to the way I have the program all worked out. You're the star, so of course you come out first.
Thank you.
Your line is, hello, and then George comes out for his opening number.
I just say hello.
Well, we could make it hello, everybody.
No, I don't want to hog the whole show.
Well, then George sings his second number, and back you come again.
Good.
To announce George's next number.
I hope my throat stands up.
And then right after that, Dennis Day comes in.
Dennis Day?
Yes.
Well, doesn't George do all the singing?
Well, yes, but I thought you might want a few laughs on the program.
Oh, yeah, I'll be glad to have them. I will, yes.
And then as soon as George finishes his next number, I'll come...
Now, wait a minute. Gracie, George can't sing the whole program. I mean, he's not that good. I know music, I'm a musician.
You are?
Well, I play the violin, don't I? Well, don't I?
You're cute.
Look, Gracie, all that I'm...
Why, Jack Benny.
Hello, George. How's the juggling game?
I'm not a juggler. Why doesn't everybody stop with that?
Oh, now, dear, don't get excited. Jack has some marvelous news for you. Tell him, Jack. What's that? I think I'll go call the papers.
All right, I'll tell him.
Oh, good. I'll run out and make some coffee.
Oh, Jack? What is it you want to tell me?
Well, first, I'd like to remind you that you're my dearest friend, George.
And you're my dearest friend, Jack.
I mean, you're even more than a friend to me, George.
You're even more than a friend to me, Jack.
I love you. I love you like a brother, George.
I love you like a brother, Jack.
I mean, I'd never do anything to hurt you, George.
Thanks.
Wait a minute, I'll try that again. I'd never do anything to hurt you, George.
I said thanks.
George, look, I mean, I wouldn't louse you up if you had a comedy program.
If I had a comedy program.
I mean, look, you're my dearest friend.
Look, Jack, what's the news,
I mean,
Jack?
you're even more than a friend to me.
The news, Jack.
Look,
what's the news?
What pals we've always been, George.
The news, Jack. You have some news for me.
Look, remember the time in Cincinnati when you were broke and I gave you $10?
It was Cleveland, Jack, and I gave you $20.
Well, I have the state right. It was Ohio.
Yeah, the news, Jack. What's this news you have for me?
Well,
Yes?
Well, dear, did Jack tell you the news?
No, not yet. He's been leading up to it by the way of Cleveland and Cincinnati.
Jack, I'll bet Little Abner won't be the funniest thing in the paper tomorrow.
oh, all right. George, look, I want you to sing on my radio program.
Why, Jack Benny.
Now, don't be
Really?
hasty, George. I mean, don't jump at it. Think it over for the duration.
I don't have to. I'll sing a dozen songs for you, pal, and it won't cost you a cent.
For free?
Sure.
No. George, no, I can't think of it that way.
Well, all right, then you can pay me.
No, I can't think of it that way either.
I know what's making Jack hesitate, dear. He hasn't heard you sing recently. Sing Ain't Misbehaving for him.
Sure, glad to.
Sit down, Jack.
No, I'll take it standing up.
Now, come on, dear.
No one to talk with all by myself. No one to walk with. I'm happy on the shelf. Ain't misbehaving, saving all my love for. Oh, baby, love for you. Really saving love for you.
He doesn't juggle at all.
No.
I know for certain you're the one I love. I'm through with flirting. It's you that I'm thinking of. Ain't misbehaving, saving all my love for. Oh, baby, my love for you.
Jack, what makes you think he's a juggler?
He must be.
Jackie Horner in the corner. Don't go nowhere. And I don't care all your kisses that you gave me, baby. Daddy, daddy, daddy.
I might be blood and guts, but that's just guts.
I don't stay out late and I don't care to go. I'm home about 8, me and my radio. Ain't misbehaving, saving all my love for you.
Well, Jack?
Gracie, call the newspaper.
Gracie, you know something? I got the impression that Jack Benny didn't like my singing.
Oh, George, that's silly. Didn't you hear him tell me to call the newspapers? He wants to give them a big story about you.
Yeah, but I noticed that while I was singing, he kind of turned green.
Oh, well, of course he turned green. You sang exactly like John McCormick.
Oh, so that's what it was.
Sure. Now, I'll go in and talk to Jack. You stay here and spray your precious little adenoids.
Okay. From time to time and every time.
Jack.
Yeah?
Well, naturally, you were joking before when you told me to call the newspapers, weren't you?
Not me, Gracie. Look, I'd rather have everybody know I was in a beauty shop than have Sugar Throat smell up my program.
Well, I'm warning you. I'll phone the paper.
Phone them.
This is my last warning, Jack.
Go ahead.
I'll phone the paper.
Phone them.
This is my last warning, Jack.
Go ahead.
I'll phone the paper.
Phone them.
This is my last warning, Jack.
Go ahead.
I'll phone the paper.
For Pete's sake, phone them.
No, Jack, no, I can't. I'm too fine, too decent. I can't stoop to blackmail when I see it isn't working.
Now, please don't think I'm a heel, Gracie. I'm kind of animals. I'm fond of children, but I just don't like George's voice.
Oh, you're fond of children, huh?
I love them.
Poor little Junior.
Poor little who?
Junior. He'd be so proud if he knew that his daddy had sung on the Jack Benny program.
Gracie, you mean?
Yes. George and I are parents now. He's the father and I'm the mother.
Gee whiz, I can't believe it. When did it happen?
Well, I don't remember exactly. We were so excited at the time.
Well, I'll be darned. Good old George has a baby. It hardly seems possible.
Yes. I was amazed when George told me.
I just can't get over it, Gracie. I'm so happy for you. So happy for George. Who does the kid look like?
Like me?
I'm so happy for the kid. Say, could I see him? I'm crazy about kids.
Really, Jack?
Oh, sure. I mean, many's the time I bought a bag of candy and blew up the bag to amuse a kid. Imagine good old George, a father.
Well, you can do something awfully nice for Junior. Let his father sing on your program.
Gracie, I'm mad about children.
Now,
but that...
please, Jack. The baby adores you. When you're on the air, he lies in his crib gurgling with his little foot in his mouth. When Fred Allen's on, he puts his foot in his ear.
Gee, what a smart little rascal.
I know you'll do it for Junior. I can look in your sensitive blue eyes and tell that you won't disappoint him.
They are blue, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
All right, George can sing one song just for the baby.
Well, let him sing 2 songs. We're expecting another one.
Really?
Yes.
Good old George.
Did I hear somebody call me?
No, we were talking about you. Gracie told me everything. Congratulations, George.
You mean I can sing a song on your program?
Yes, sir. You deserve it. Gracie tells me there's going to be another one.
Well, 2 would be fine if it's all right with you.
Well, why not? Have you picked out a name for the second one?
Would you like Moon Glow?
Moon Glow Burns. Won't that be just a little too corny?
Oh, I don't think so, Jack. You know, while you were away, I took a few lessons from Crosby.
You did?
Yeah.
Now, George, I know Jack's in a hurry.
Yes, I'll be going. But, George, first, can I see the nursery?
Well, Jack.
The nursery?
Hiya, folks. What goes on?
Oh, Bill, am I glad to see you.
Bill, I just heard the news. Now, why didn't you tell me that George and Gracie had a...
Yes, Bill. Oh, why didn't you tell Jack what George and I had?
Well, what did you have?
An idea for you to announce Jack's program, and George sings on it.
Huh? But I meant...
well, that's a great idea, Jack. I'd be glad to.
Now, wait a minute. I have an announcer, Don Wilson.
Well, okay, you can have two announcers.
Don Wilson is to announce. I'm just using George on my program, not you. You see, I'm only doing it for Junior. Junior?
Well, yes, George. That's what Jack calls you because you're so much younger than Jack.
No, look, I mean the baby.
The baby?
Well, yes, that's what he calls me because I'm so much younger than you.
No, Gracie, look, I'm talking about your child.
Child?
Well, goodbye, Jack. See you at rehearsal Sunday.
Wait a minute. Gracie, what does he mean, our child?
Oh, dear. I knew there was something I forgot to tell you.
We haven't got a child.
Well, so that's it, Gracie. Just to get George on my program, you invented a baby.
Oh, no, I can't take credit for that. They were invented years ago.
Don't try to get out of it. I don't want to sing on the radio if I have to get on by tricks. Now apologize to Jack.
I'm sorry, Jack.
And don't ever do a thing like that again.
I won't do it.
Ever, understand?
Yes, dear.
Come on, Jack. I'll walk you down to the corner.
My goodness, George, what you go through with a day.
Hello, Pippa? This is Gracie. Oh, would you and Molly let George sing your program next week? Yeah, I know you've got a singer, but I thought you might do it for Junior. Yes, you see, he's just had a baby. And he's so George, I've got some wonderful news. Little McGee wants you to sing on his program.
Really?
Yes. And when he comes over to close the deal, would you sort of fold this napkin into a triangle?
What?
Well, for some silly reason, he thinks we have a baby.
Again?
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Well, hello. Come right in. Oh, George, we've got company.
Well, it's Tuesday night again. Time for another pleasant visit with George Burns and Gracie Allen and their guest, the star of the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer picture, Madame Curie, Walter Pidgeon, with Jimmy Cash, Felix Mills, and his orchestra. And now, meet the people who live in the Burns house, George and Gracie. Well, it's morning in the Burns house, and George is upstairs dressing. Gracie is just answering the front door.
Gracie, look out your living room window, quick.
Well, Blanche, what is it?
A new neighbor's moving in next door to you, and wait till I tell you who it is, you'll die.
Who is it?
Walter Pidgeon.
Walter Pidgeon, the actor?
Uh-huh.
You mean Mr. Greg Austin?
Yes, aren't you thrilled to death?
Oh, I should say I am. Oh, I just adore him on the screen. Why, when the bombs are exploding all around him and his house is being blown up, nobody could light a pipe like he can.
I know, he's so romantic.
Oh, yes. Look, here comes his living room furniture. Oh, look. See, there's his bookcase.
Uh-huh. That's a pretty coffee table, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And I just love that ridge lamp.
Gracie, look.
Oh, and it looks like such a comfortable sofa.
You're telling me.
We used to have one just like that at home before I got married.
Yeah, but you had George on it.
Well, of course I did. And I wouldn't trade one George Burns for 20 Walter Pidgeons.
Well, that's what makes horse racing.
I guess it's just a matter of taste. You like one thing and I like George.
Oh, look, Gracie. Here comes his bedroom furniture.
Oh, yeah, and there's his bureau.
And the top drawer is open. Oh, my. Did you see what just fell out?
Oh, yes. Oh, he wears cute ones, doesn't he?
Oh, yes, they are cute.
Oh, I've been dying for George to get some like those. He wears the long, droopy kind.
Well, maybe they just look droopy on George.
Oh, Blanche, look. Look, right there. It's him, Walter Pidgeon himself, see?
What a man.
Yeah, he is kind of cute looking, isn't he? That brown hair and those white teeth and those blue eyes.
Yeah, same coloring as my husband. Only he has blue eyes, white hair, and brown teeth.
Well, there he goes into the house. Oh, I wouldn't dream of spying on him in his house, would you?
Oh, no, of course not.
It wouldn't be nice.
No.
I'll get my binoculars.
Hey, what are you two doing at the window? Snooping, eh? Shame on you.
Well, George, a glamorous movie star, is moving in next door. I was just going to get the binoculars.
Movie star? Well, I'll get the binoculars. Who is she?
Walter Pidgeon.
Snooping, eh? Shame on you.
Well, I think I'll be running along, Gracie. It was wonderful seeing Walter Pidgeon so close up.
Well, glad you enjoyed it, Blanche. Give my regards to your husband.
I will, Gracie. If I ever decide to go home again.
Come away from that window, sweetheart.
Ah, jealous, huh?
No. Should I be?
Oh, of course not. Why, you're much better looking than Walter Pidgeon.
Oh, now, Gracie.
Oh, I mean it, George. Well, when you smile and your nose wrinkles up, it's just too cute for words.
Really?
Yes. It's even cute when you stop smiling and it just hangs there.
Yeah, pretty.
Walter Pidgeon. I'll take George Burns. Life with you is just like a beautiful fairy tale.
Oh, please.
Oh, yes, it is. I often play a game when men whistle at me on the street. I pretend they're wolves and I'm Little Red Riding Hood and I'm hurrying home to you, my dear old grandmother.
Must be fun.
Good morning, folks.
Why, Bill?
Oh, Bill, guess what? We've got a new next-door neighbor, Walter Pidgeon.
Really?
Well, I'm glad Mr. Pidgeon's a bachelor, Bill. Now you'll have somebody to pal around with.
Say, that's right. Gee, Pidgeon and I can have some real fun together. Double dates, you know. I know a couple of sisters. Beautiful apartment, champagne, home-cooked meal, and after dinner...
Yeah?
That is, if we play our cards right...
Mm-hmm.
They let us wash the dishes.
Oh, joy supreme. Well, it's time for me to get to the office. Goodbye, sweetheart.
Bye, dear.
And while I'm gone, you two let Pidgeon alone. Don't annoy him. And Gracie, above all, don't try to get him married to Tootsie Sagwell. Goodbye.
Bill, doesn't George get the best ideas? Hand me the phone.
Oh, okay, here you are.
Hello? Hello, Tootsie? Tootsie, this is Gracie. Now, listen carefully. How would you like to marry Walter Pidgeon? Tootsie! Tootsie! Oh, dear.
What happened,
A
Gracie?
short circuit. I guess she drooled on the wires. Come in.
Where is he? Where is he? Let me at him.
Oh, Tootsie, for goodness sake, calm down. The way you act, Walter Pidgeon wouldn't even speak to you.
Oh, I don't care. I'd be satisfied just to squeeze him and listen to him grunt.
Now, Tootsie, that's just why we've always failed before. You rush men so. Now, this time I have everything planned.
Well, Gracie, how are you going to get him to propose?
Well, I'm going to put him under obligation to me.
How?
Well, neighbors borrow things, don't they?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to lend him an egg, and then he'll have to do me a little favor and marry you.
Oh, that's a wonderful idea.
Thank you, Tootsie. Now, I'll take an egg and be on my way. And don't worry, in no time at all, you'll be Mrs. Tootsie Walter Sagwell Pidgeon.
Yes?
Hello, Mr. Pidgeon. I'm Mrs. Burns, your next-door neighbor. Would you like to borrow this egg?
No, thank you very much.
Oh, you're making a big mistake. Eggs are very good for you.
Perhaps.
Oh, they're full of all sorts of healthy things like vitamins and chickens.
Mrs. Burns, I don't want to borrow an egg.
No eggs?
No egg. If I find I need one, I'll send to the store.
Oh, don't do that. It's dangerous.
Dangerous?
Well, certainly with the shortage of materials, who knows what they're making eggs out of these days?
Mrs.
Now,
Burns,
this is a real egg. Pre-Pearl Harbor.
a bit ripe, wouldn't you think?
Well, just mellow. Here, take it.
No, thanks. I appreciate your good neighbor spirit, but really, I don't want to borrow your egg.
No egg.
No egg. Good day, Mrs. Burns.
Good day, Mr. Pidgeon. Don't hesitate to call me if you want to borrow an egg.
Oh, it's you again.
Big white stranger like 'em egg?
What?
Eggs. Good to eat. Come from birds. You want 'em? Me got 'em.
Mrs. Burns, just why are you talking like a travelogue?
Me native girl. Live on island.
What island?
Catalina?
Are you asking me or telling me?
Me telling you. Like 'em egg?
Really, you shouldn't run around like in the neighborhood acting like this. What will your husband say?
You mean paleface?
Well, you know him better than I do.
He no care. Want 'em egg?
No, I don't want an egg.
Eggs make white stranger strong. Put hair on chest.
Why don't you give it a pale face?
No got 'em chest.
I see.
Beautiful, gorgeous, stunning native girl give white stranger one more chance to borrow egg. What say, white stranger?
Aloha, Mrs. Burns.
Well, did it work? Oh, no, Tootsie. I guess he's tired of Condaleo. Who else has he been running around with?
Well, Mrs. Minifer.
Oh, yes. He borrowed from her. They used to be married.
Sure.
Let me see. She was English, wasn't she?
Uh-huh.
Well, I'll be right back, Tootsie.
Oh, no, not you again.
Are you there?
What?
Are you there?
Well, don't you see me?
The Fargo boy. Thick as consomme. Can't see my jolly old digits in front of my jolly old puss.
Are you British now?
Rightfully. Care to borrow a spot of egg?
Oh, that egg again. No, I don't want it.
Delicious with crumpets and a cup of petrol?
No, thanks. I like my petrol without egg.
Amusing chaps, you Americans.
Mrs. Burns, why are you working so hard to get me to borrow that egg?
Because you blimey well needed, old cricket. You look a bit pico today.
Pico?
Yes, tired as an old tea bag. Beastly jolly, eh, what?
More beastly than jolly. But I definitely do not want the egg. Now, if you don't mind...
Cigarette.
What?
Cigarette.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mitch.
Thanks.
Thank you. Egg.
No.
Cat.
Mrs. Burns, once and for all, I don't want to borrow an egg. Now, cheerio.
Are you there?
You don't have to tell me. I can see by your face.
Mrs. Miniver didn't work either.
Gracie. The title of his latest picture is Madame Curie.
Madame Curie. Au revoir, Tootsie.
I left the door open. What is it this time?
French.
French?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Would Yankee like to borrow law egg?
All right, Mrs. Burns, you win. Give me the egg.
There. Well, now that I've done you a favor, will you do a little favor for me?
What is it?
Drop over to the house and marry my girlfriend.
Marry your girlfriend?
Yes.
Right now?
Yes.
you don't believe in long engagements, do you?
No, will you marry us?
No, thank you.
Well, that's gratitude for you. After pestering me all day to borrow an egg.
Yeah. I did hound you, didn't I? But the answer is still no, even if you throw in a rasher of bacon.
Well, Mr. Pidgeon, won't you at least come over and meet Tootsie?
No, thanks. Say, is this Tootsie between the ages of 20 and 35?
Yes.
Has she had at least 2 years of high school?
Oh, yes, at least 2 years in each class.
I think I would like to meet Tootsie.
Oh, good. Well, come for dinner at 6 o'clock.
Very well, I'll be there.
Oh, dear. With an extra dinner guest now, I'll need another egg. May I borrow one from you?
Oh, yes. I just happen to have one on me.
Oh.
Gracie, why did you invite Tootsie Sagwin and Walter Pidgeon to dinner? Didn't I tell you not to annoy Pidgeon with that broken-down dame? Didn't I tell you that Tootsie should...
George, please, remember your appendix.
My appendix has been taken out for 5 years.
Well, poor Tootsie hasn't been out for 10.
Well, never mind. You're calling this dinner off.
All right, if you don't want to sing in pictures.
Tell Pidgeon you... What was that?
Mr. Pidgeon is coming over just to hear your voice.
Oh, so that's it, huh? Probably wants me to sing in one of his pictures.
Well, sure. You have a remarkable voice. The kind that puts people right in the mood of your song.
It does?
Yes. Remember at Bill's party you sang Leave Me and Love Me or Leave Me?
Uh-huh.
Well, while you were singing I loved you and everybody else left you.
So Pidgeon wants to hear my voice, huh? Well, okay. He'll have a chance to hear it.
Come in. Oh, good evening, Mr. Pidgeon. This is my husband, George Burns.
How do you do, Mr. Burns?
How do you do, Mr. Pidgeon? How do you do? How do you do, Mr. Pidgeon? How are you?
An attractive house you have here, Mrs. Burns.
Oh, thanks. It's not very big, but we're crazy about it.
Be it ever so humble, there's no place like home.
May I open a window?
Now, see here.
I'd like to light my pipe, but I don't want to get the room all smoky.
Oh, that's it. Where do they go, those smoke rings I blow each night? Oh, those smoke rings.
Happy little fellow, isn't he?
Yes, he sings.
He does?
Oh, yes. I got a special little number worked up. Would you like to hear it?
Swell. Say, have you ever been away?
Hello, folks.
Oh.
Walter Pidgeon.
Oh, yes. Walter, this is Bill Goodwin.
How do you do?
I'm glad to meet you.
Sit down, Bill. I'm going to sing a little song for Walter.
Oh, great, George.
Say,
Ever heard George sing before, Walter?
No.
Oh, has a magnificent voice. Go ahead, George.
say, have you ever been away?
Get that high note, Walter.
Say, have you ever been away?
George.
Say,
George.
Oh.
You hurt my feelings. I'm going home.
Darn that guy anyway. I'm sorry, Walter. Well, now I can do it right.
Say, have you ever been away?
No, but it's a wonderful idea. Goodbye, everybody.
Wait a minute. After all, you came over here to hear me sing.
I came over here to hear you sing. Whatever gave you that idea?
Gracie, didn't you tell me that...
My dinner's ready. I can smell the water boiling.
Walter, what did you come over for?
Well, I'm very interested in a girl named Tootsie Sagwell.
Walter, things can't be that bad with you.
You don't understand, George. I'm doing some special recruiting for the Wave.
Oh, you want Tootsie to join the Wave?
Of course. And from what your wife told me of her, she loved the Navy.
She already does.
It's the back door, dear. I'll answer it.
Am I late? Is he still here? And how do I look?
No, yes, and peculiar.
Oh, what
have you done to yourself?
Well, I said to myself, Tootsie, what's Rear Garson got that you haven't got? So I bought a red wig.
Oh, it's simply marvelous. Honestly, if Greer Garson didn't look the way she looks and you didn't look the way you look, nobody could tell you apart.
Oh, how wonderful. Oh, where is Mr. Pidgeon? Let me add him.
Oh, right in here. Well, Walter, I guess I don't have to tell you who this is.
Of course not. Hello, Harpo.
Yeah. This is Tootsie Stagwell.
Oh, I beg your pardon, Miss Stagwell.
Oh, Mr. Pidgeon, it's really you. I can hardly believe my eyes.
I'm having a little trouble, too.
George, let's you and I go into the next room. Walter probably wants to be alone with Tootsie.
No, don't leave. What I have to say to Tootsie, I want the whole world to hear. May I ask you a few questions, Tootsie?
Oh, sure.
Are you between the ages of 20 and 35?
Uh-huh.
Oh, does she have to tell you how far between?
No. That's all right. And you're single, naturally?
Naturally.
Naturally? Yes, naturally. Although that doesn't matter. If you were married and had no children under 18, you'd still be eligible.
I would?
Sure. Now, Tootsie, I want you to understand the problem. Every day, more and more sailors are leaving their posts to carry men and materials overseas. The situation is really desperate.
You're telling her.
Oh, gee, Mr. Pidgeon, imagine you picking me out of all the women in this country.
Oh, I don't want only you, Tootsie. I want thousands of women.
Thousands?
Mr. Pidgeon, don't you think you're biting off a little more than you can chew?
I'm not asking anything for myself, Gracie. It's for Uncle Sam.
Oh, well, I like that. Let your uncle get his own women.
Walter, you better explain just what you want Tootsie to be.
Why, a wave, Tootsie, of course.
A wave?
Yes, and every woman who is eligible should join. It's a fine way to share the experiences and adventures of her fighting brothers and friends who are now in the armed forces.
Oh, all right. Tootsie can become a wave and a bride on the same day.
Bride?
Well, yes. Now, let's eat before the ceremony. You don't want to marry Tootsie on an empty stomach.
I certainly don't, or any other way.
Well, you will before I'm through. As long as you live next door to me, I'll be at your house every single day until you decide to be more neighborly.
Well, in that case, Mrs. Burns, I'd better run along. I have to get up very early tomorrow morning.
Oh, really? Why?
It's moving day again. Goodbye.
Remember George Burns and Gracie Allen?
Well, hello. Come right in. Oh, George, we've got company.
Well, it's Tuesday night again. Time for another pleasant visit with George Burns and Gracie Allen. Our guest, lovely Loretta Young, with Jimmy Cash, the Swantet, Felix Mills, and his orchestra. And now meet the people who live in the Burns house, George and Gracie. But before we visit the Burnses, let's look in for a moment on a dramatic scene taking place in the office of a Hollywood attorney. Consulting the attorney is a very excited and beautiful client, Miss Loretta Young.
This is preposterous. It's ridiculous. There isn't one word of truth in this entire magazine article.
Why, of course there isn't. Now, calm yourself, Miss Young.
Calm myself. Just listen to this drivel. Sensational, daring expose. The Secret Love of Loretta Young by Gracie Allen.
Why, that's fantastic.
Fantastic is hardly the word for it. Listen to this. Who is the mysterious Mr. X who holds the key to Loretta Young's heart? Does her son, Robert Young, know about this?
Why, that's positively weird. Tell me, does Miss Allen say where she got her information?
No. Undoubtedly, she got it straight from her head.
She couldn't have picked a more unreliable source. Now, does she name the man who's supposed to be your secret love?
No, but she describes him. He appears to be a combination of Gary Cooper, Noel Coward, J.P. Morgan, and the Green Hornets.
Have you ever met such a man?
No. You don't happen to know where I could, do you?
Fortunately, I'm afraid not. Now, don't worry, Miss Young. We'll take legal action immediately.
Well, I'll leave that to you. And meanwhile, I'm going over and demand an explanation from Gracie. Good day, gentlemen.
Good day. Oh, Northrop.
Yes, Mr. Reagan?
Gracie Allen's married to a character named George Burns, isn't she?
Oh, yes, sir.
They probably cooked this up together. File suit immediately against Mr. and Mrs. George Burns for $50,000.
Oh, George, I have a wonderful surprise for you.
Really?
Yes, no more worries about money.
What do you mean?
Well, little Gracie has written a magazine article that's going to fix our finances permanently.
Sounds wonderful.
Oh, it's the least I can do, sweetheart. The way you work and slave at that old office is just making you a wreck, and I want to help.
Well, thanks, dear. How long have you been writing magazine articles?
Oh, quite a while, but I didn't want to say anything until I had one published.
Oh, the others were rejected, huh?
Yes, and I can't understand it. Well, they were wonderful articles about movie stars. My first one was called Charles Boyer's Eyes. Are they his own?
Can't see why they rejected that.
And then I wrote a perfectly marvelous piece called Is There As Much Inside of Charles Lawton As There Is Outside?
Fascinating stuff.
Oh, yes. And then I wrote one that'll just set everybody's tongue wagging. It's called Theda Barra Says She's Through with Pictures.
Theda is going to quit, huh? Imagine.
Oh, I do a lot of research on these stories. Now, take this one. It's called Gary Cooper. Is he?
Is he what?
Well, I haven't finished my research yet.
What magazine did you submit the stuff to?
Oh, it's a wonderful publication. It gives you the real inside information in a high-class way.
Life, look, pick, click.
Dirt.
Dirt? You mean that horrible gossip magazine?
George, is that a nice way to talk about the magazine that's going to make us rich? Look, here's the latest issue. See what it says on the cover?
Sensational, daring expose, The Secret Love of Loretta Young by Gracie Allen. Say, you really came through.
Well, thanks, darling. And, George, I won't let my fame come between us. I'll still be a housewife no matter how many literary organizations beg me to join them.
Are they after you already?
Oh, sure. Just yesterday I got a letter asking me if I'd like to be a member of the Book of the Month Club.
Yeah, you're my little celebrity.
And when I first wrote this story, Dirt turned it down. I had no style.
No.
No. For instance, I wrote, every morning Loretta Young gets out of bed, walks downstairs, and eats the grapefruit.
But you changed that.
Mm-hmm. Now it reads, every morning luscious Loretta Young gets out of bed with a cry of ecstasy, walks downstairs in a sweater, and passionately eats the grapefruit.
Didn't take you long to get the hang of it. The title is pretty snappy, too. The Secret Love of Loretta Young.
Yeah, isn't it? I wonder if she really has one.
What?
I wonder if she has a secret love. I doubt it.
Wait a minute. She must have a secret love. You wrote that in your article.
Well, you don't believe everything you read, do you?
Gracie, if there's no truth in this thing, why did you write it?
Well, there's never been any scandal about poor Loretta, so I thought I'd give her a break.
Murder, you can't do that, Gracie.
Good morning, folks.
Good morning, Bill.
What's Gracie done now?
Look at this magazine.
Okay. The Secret Love of Loretta Young by Gracie Allen. Oh, say, Gracie, if you want these kind of stories, I'm your man.
Oh, really?
Now, Bill, she's done enough.
Why?
Bill, we'll be in plenty of trouble if Loretta Young reads this article. Maybe you can help us. Do you know Loretta?
Well, no, but you know how I handle women, George. Why, gosh, I could flatter her right out of being mad.
You think so?
Well, easy. I'll go to her and say, Loretta, darling, you're beautiful.
Never mind, Bill. We'll handle this thing ourselves.
Come in.
Mrs. Boynes?
Yes?
Who was that?
look at this. I'm not the only one who thinks my magazine article will make us rich. Some smart lawyers think so, too.
What do you mean?
Well, they don't sue poor people for $50,000.
Oh, no. $50,000 we're being sued for. And all because you made up a story about Loretta Young's secret love.
Well, I was only trying to help George.
Hitler should have that kind of help. $50,000. Who's got that kind of money?
Well, I expect to earn quite a bit with my new article. It's called, Is Jane Russell a Man in Disguise?
Burn it and scatter the ashes. And furthermore...
What's the matter?
Here comes Loretta Young up the walk. Goodbye.
Oh, George, don't leave me alone with her. I'm afraid.
Sorry, baby. You got yourself into this. Get yourself out. I'm going to see a lawyer. Goodbye.
Hello, Gracie.
Oh, you want to see Gracie? Well, she's gone to Australia to entertain the Aleutians.
Now, it's no use. I know you.
Oh, you know me, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, come in, Loretta. I'm awfully glad to see you.
Yes, I guessed that. I came to talk to you about that story.
That story?
Yes.
Oh, yes. You mean that story about the moron who moved to the city because he heard the country was at war. Oh, yes. Cute, isn't it? George says that no one can do those moron things like me.
I agree 100%. But, Gracie, the story I'm talking about is the secret love of Loretta Young. Do you realize how much damage a story like that can do? Why, it's simply outrageous.
Oh, my, you're pretty.
This can involve me in all sorts of trouble. My studio's going to be furious.
Oh, I'd give $1 million for that complexion.
I've never been so upset, so angry in my whole life.
I wonder how you keep it so pretty.
Well, I start with a foundation cream and work it in.
Yes.
And then I pat on a little...
Yes.
Now, wait a minute. I've been tricked. Honestly, Gracie, a story like that, well, it could only be excused if it were written by a crazy person.
Oh. Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, well, it was.
You mean you admit it was written by a crazy person?
Mm-hmm. George. Yes. His old trouble is coming back again.
But the article is signed by you.
That's his old trouble. He thinks he's other people.
Gracie, do you want me to believe that your husband is a lunatic?
It would help a lot if you did.
Well, George always looked all right to me. Mentally, of course.
Oh, you can't go by appearances, Loretta. Think of George as a chocolate.
A chocolate?
Yes. You can't tell by looking at him whether inside he's plain or nuts.
Oh, dear. I wish you hadn't said that. Now, I'll never be able to bite into a chocolate without wondering if its name is George.
Oh, you're not taking me seriously, are you?
No, Gracie, I'm not. Why should he write such a story and sign your name?
Well, he thought he was me. You see, when George has these spells, he thinks he's all kinds of people. Well, one day he took away the key to my trunk and hid my suitcases, and he said, "You're staying home for a change."
Who did he think he was?
President Roosevelt.
Now, Gracie, you're putting up a very good fight. But I still think George is sane. I'm afraid you'll both have to face the music.
Music? Oh, now you really hit on his crazy spot.
What do you mean?
Well, he thinks he's a musician. Last week he thought he was Harry James.
Oh, poor Betty Grable.
Oh, he's really crazy when it comes to music, especially singing. He thinks he's Bing Crosby and Nelson Eddy put together.
That's an odd combination.
You're telling me. Why, every night he sets a trap for the stork and baits it with shortening bread.
I'm sorry, Gracie, but I don't believe any of this.
Well, I can prove it to you. Oh, look, here comes George now. You just ask him if he doesn't think he's a great singer.
All right, I will.
Well, Gracie, I talked to our... Oh, you're still here, Miss Young.
Yes. I want to talk to you, Mr. Burns.
About the lawsuit?
Well, I'd like to clear up something else first. Do you think you're a great singer?
Well, I wouldn't say great. I'd say, well, I guess great is the word. Would you like to hear me sing?
Yes, I certainly would.
Well, this is the hot lick that has Crosby worried to death.
Like Jackie Horner in the corner, don't go nowhere, and I don't care.
Well?
And to think I doubted you, Gracie.
Huh?
Believe me, you have my deepest sympathy.
Oh, see here, Miss
Now,
Young.
don't you come near me. You stay right where you are.
I won't bite you.
How do I know you won't? You might think you're a steam shovel and I'm a pile of sand.
You're kind of a screwball, aren't you?
Please don't say that. I've always heard that one can recognize another.
What's going on around
now,
here?
George, calm down. Remember your old trouble.
How can I forget you? A lawyer says we haven't got a leg to stand on. In the first place, you didn't type the story. It's in your own handwriting.
Wait a minute. It's in her handwriting?
Well, sure.
Then she must have written it.
No, Herbert Hoover wrote it.
Oh, there you see? Now he thinks he's a G-man.
Gracie, let's not play any more games. Mr. Burns, I'm sorry. I owe you an apology.
I wouldn't be surprised. Now, tell me what for.
Well, I'll let your wife explain that. Goodbye, Gracie. I'll see you in court.
What's going on around here? In another minute, I'll be a raving maniac.
Oh, darn it. 2 minutes sooner and we would have saved $50,000.
Now, remember, Gracie, room 202 Arcade Building. We're gonna meet the attorneys there at 5 o'clock and try to settle out of court.
Yes, dear.
Even then, we'll have to pay Loretta Young plenty.
But that doesn't seem fair. I'm an honest person, and I made an honest mistake. Isn't there some way I can cheat her out of the money?
Gracie, there's only one thing could save us. If Loretta Young really had a secret lover.
You mean if a secret lover actually showed up, she couldn't sue us?
Hiya, folks.
Well, Bill, sit right down. How nice to see you.
Well, I'm going to stop off at the cigar store. See you at 5, Gracie.
Oh, Bill, have I got a surprise?
Yeah?
What would you do if I told you that a beautiful, glamorous movie star was secretly in love with you?
Oh, well, I just laugh and believe it.
I knew you would. It's Loretta Young.
Well, gee, you mean I'm the guy you wrote about in that article?
Sure. Loretta Young's mad about you. She's crazy about you.
I knew this would happen.
Oh, Bill, you're too modest. You know what Loretta likes about you, Bill?
What?
Your dimples.
Oh. My dimples aren't so much.
They're adorable when you smile.
Oh, you don't say. Well, I must smile more often. Let's see now.
Oh, Bill, whatever you do, stay away from Loretta Young. She's so crazy about you that if she sees you, she'll grab you and kiss you and hug you and squeeze you, and you wouldn't want that to happen.
Oh, no.
Well, Bill, please remember to stay away from Loretta. She'll be in the arcade building at 5 o'clock.
Oh, well, I won't go near her, Gracie. What room should I stay away from?
202.
202. Well, I'll go straight home. I don't want any movie stars kissing me.
Well. Hello, Mr. Burns.
Oh, hello, Stanley. Give me 3 of my regular cigars.
Yes, sir. Perfecto Royales. I'll get them out of the safe.
You keep them in the safe?
Oh, yes, I have to. If I don't, they smell up the whole place. Here, your 3 cigars.
Here's your nickel.
Thank you. You seem depressed today, Mr. Burns. Trouble at home?
You said it. On account of my wife's latest brainstorm, I'm being sued for $50,000.
$50,000? My, that's a lot of Perfecto Royale.
Oh, yeah.
Greetings, Stanley. 'Tis I, Bolingbroke. Well, hello, friend Burns.
Hello, Cue Ball.
Mr. Burns isn't feeling well, Cue Ball. He's being sued for $50,000.
It's a paltry sum. Why, when I was the idol of the American stage, I spent that much annually on cigars alone.
Oh, sure.
And speaking of cigars, when you have had your fill of that one, may I toy with the butt, please?
Cue Ball, don't bother me. Say, Boldy, I just had an idea. How would you like to make some money?
With a minimum of effort.
I'll give you $5 to pose as Loretta Young's secret lover.
What? You wish me to lie, to deceive, to utter crass falsehood about an innocent damoiselle? I, Bolingbroke, a man of honor? Not for 1 cent less than $7.
I'll give you a 5. All you have to do is come to the arcade building, room 202, at 5 o'clock and do your stuff.
$7 and not a cent less.
$5 and not a cent more.
Sir, it is not my custom to quibble over pennies. $6.75.
Now, look, Bolingbroke, just because you have me over a barrel...
I do have you over a barrel, don't I? Farewell, Burns.
Hey, cue ball, wait.
Oh, poor Mr. Burns. Such a nice man. And if he goes broke, I'll be stuck with all those horrible cigars. The arcade building, room 202.
Oh, hello, Loretta. Is your lawyer in?
Yes. He's in the next office drawing up some papers. I'm glad you decided to settle out of court, Gracie.
Well, I've changed my mind about that, Loretta. You see, I know that when I get on the stand in front of that jury, Oh, by the way, would you lift your skirt just a little?
My skirt? Oh, you mean like this?
Yes. My, your legs are pretty, too. This is going to be an awfully close case.
No, you haven't got a chance, Gracie. I have no secret lover.
One never knows, does one? Have you the time?
Yes, it's just 5 o'clock.
Well, here I am, Loretta, dimples and all.
I beg your pardon?
Well, don't just stare at me like that, Loretta. Come on, grab me in your arms.
Just who are you?
Oh, as if you didn't know. I'm your secret lover.
What?
One never knows, does one?
There must be some mistake.
Oh, there's no mistake. Care to stick a finger in one of my dimples?
Oh, Loretta, there goes your case.
Now, look here.
Just a moment. Miss Young, take a look at this man I brought with me.
Well, who is he?
I, madam, am your secret lover.
I what?
I, madam, am your secret lover.
My, Loretta, you've been a busy little girl, haven't you?
Well, now I suppose that...
how do you do, Miss Young?
Who are you?
Your secret lover.
My gracious, the place is just crawling with them.
Now, little man, you turn right around and march out that door. And take that ham actor with you.
Yes, ma'am.
You can go, too, Dimples.
Come on, lovers.
Now, suppose we discuss this lawsuit sensibly. Now that my love parade has passed.
All right. Guess I may as well tell the truth.
Yes, it's about time.
Yeah. Your real secret lover is George Burns.
Oh, Gracie, please.
Well, what's so funny? George would be a wonderful secret lover.
Oh.
Well, he would. There's nothing to laugh at. He's a great lover.
Hey, wait a minute. Break this up. What's so funny about it? Gee, you think
Gracie, I'm sorry. I just can't stay mad at you. I'm ready to call this whole thing off if you are.
You mean it, Loretta?
Yes, I do. Now, if Gracie will just print a retraction in the next issue of the magazine, we'll forget all about it.
Oh, well, I'll be glad to print a retraction, Loretta. In fact, I'll write a new article denying that you have a secret lover.
Good.
I've got a wonderful title for it.
What?
Nobody Loves Loretta Young.
Honestly, Gracie, the messes you get me in, I just...
Well, I can't help it, George. We French, we're so excitable, so passionate.
You're French?
Ooh la la.
What's this all about, anyway?
Well, George, don't you know who's going to be on our program next week? Charles Boyer.
Oh, that's why you're French?
Trey, of course. Well, hello. Come right in. Oh, George, we've got company.
Well, it's Tuesday night again. Time for another pleasant visit with George Burns and Gracie Allen and their guest, the co-producer and star of Universal's picture, Flesh and Fantasy, Charles Boyer, with Jimmy Cash, Felix Mills, and his orchestra. And now, meet the people who live in the Burns house, George and Gracie. Well, tonight we find George and Gracie just leaving their neighborhood movie, where they've been watching a romantic Charles Boyer picture. Gracie is still under the spell of her screen idol.
Gracie, could you walk a little faster? I said, could you walk a little faster?
If you wish, Charles.
Gracie, I'm George Burns, your husband, remember? I'm not Charles Boyer.
Oh. Well, that's life.
Come on, I want to stop in the cigar store.
Oh, my, I'll never get over the way Charles Boyer kissed Barbara Stanwyck. I wonder how it feels to be kissed like that.
As soon as we get home, I'll show you.
Mama's little dreamer.
Well, never mind. Here's the cigar store.
Well, good evening, Mr. Burns.
Good evening, Stanley. Give me 3 Perfecto Royales, please.
Yes, sir. Why, hello, Mrs. Burns.
Hello, Stanley.
My, you're looking positively radiant tonight. There's a sparkle in your eyes and a glow in your cheek that only a man could put there.
It was a man, Stanley.
Well, there must be more to Mr. Burns than meets the eye.
We've just been to see Charles Boyer.
Oh, well, here are your cigars and your coupons.
Thanks. Gee, how do they do it? 3 top-notch cigars for a nickel and coupons, too.
How many coupons do you have now?
19,000.
Gracious goodness.
Yeah, only 6,000 more and I get a key ring.
Oh, George, pay Stanley for these 10 movie magazines, too.
10 movie magazines?
Well, they all have articles about Charles Boyer.
Look, Gracie, you can't...
Greetings, Stanley. 'Tis I, Bolingbroke.
Hello, cue ball.
Well, hello, Mr. Bolingbroke.
Why, bless me if it isn't the Burnses. Both the lovely one and the other one. Well, this is a most fortuitous happenstance.
It is?
Yes, I have great news for you, dear lady. The Bolingbroke Little Theatre is about to open its winter theatrical season. I shall want you as my leading lady, naturally.
Oh, naturally. Say, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could get Charles Boyer for my leading man?
Oh, sure. You could get him easy for around $25,000.
Well, George, we wouldn't have to pay him a cent. He's free French.
Well, anyway, you're not going to get mixed up in that Bolingbroke's theater. All he wants is your money.
Sir, you insult me. I would not touch 1 cent of her money.
No?
No, she can give it directly to my landlady.
I thought so. Nothing doing. Get your movie magazines, Gracie. We're going home. Oh, and Stanley, I'll take a copy of Cowboy Love Tales.
Oh, that is your favorite magazine, isn't it?
Yes.
What a coincidence. My opening play will be a dramatization of Cowboy Love Tales.
Really?
Yes. I can just picture your lovely wife in the role of Lucy, and you as the half-breed, dirty Sam.
Does the part of the hero, Oklahoma Tex, happen to be open?
Why, certainly, dear friend. Of course, there is that little matter of
Money?
Yes.
Well, here's $5.
Oh, cabbage from Mr. Morgenthal's Victory Garden.
Well, Gracie, I'm going to be your leading man. You and I are going to be lovers in the old Bar X.
I still wish it was a cast Bar X.
Oh, come on home. Gracie, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Put away those silly movie magazines and let's get some sleep.
But, George, did you know that Charles Boyer was awfully bashful as a boy?
Oh, turn out the light.
It says here he didn't get his first kiss until he was 19, and even then he wasn't thrilled.
No, huh?
No. Guess those French generals aren't very attractive.
Turn out the light.
The article I'm reading now is fascinating. Charles Boyer's 10 rules for being a successful lover.
Turn out the light.
That's the first rule.
Gracie, go to sleep. Oh, nuts. Now there's someone at the door.
Could it be Charles Boyer?
Of course not.
Oh, then you answer it.
Ooh, boy, the floor's cold.
Hiya, George. I saw the light on. Something wrong?
Yeah, something's wrong. I want to sleep, and Gracie wants me to listen to Charles Boyer's advice on love.
Oh. Well, let's face it, Daddy. You can use it.
Now, look, funny man.
No, I'm serious, George. You husbands get so you take your wives for granted. You forget the little niceties that mean so much to a woman.
What do you mean?
Well, take today, for example. Did you tell Gracie you loved her?
Well, no.
Well, did you tell her how pretty she is?
No.
Well, that's music to a woman's ears, George.
Bill, I'm in no mood to stand here in my bare feet at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Well, okay, I was just trying to help get Gracie to love you.
Well, Gracie does love. Doesn't she?
Good night, George.
Good night, good night.
Bill, it's you.
Oh, hello, Gracie.
Oh, listen to what I just read about Charles Boyer. It seems that years ago in France, a man named Pierre Dumont befriended him.
Good night. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, good night, dear.
Good night.
Well, this Dumont has a daughter named Marie who lives in America now, and Mr. Boyer has been looking for Marie so he can repay his debt to her father.
Marie? Say, I'm engaged to a girl named Marie.
Is her last name Dumont?
Well, I didn't catch your last name.
Oh, gee, I wish I were Marie Dumont. Then Charles Boyer would be glad to play my leading man. Say, why wouldn't I be Marie Dumont?
Oh, Gracie, you wouldn't.
Oh, wouldn't I? Oh, I wonder what time Frenchmen get up in the morning.
Yes?
Oh, good morning, Mr. Boyer.
Is there something you wish?
Pardon me?
Is there something you wish?
Oh, but don't you recognize me, Mr. Boyer?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm little Marie. You know, Marie Dumont.
No!
Yes.
You are actually the daughter of my dear old friend?
Beaucoup, why not?
Oh, mais c'est merveilleux. Entrez dans ma petite Marie. Je vais presque abandonner l'espoir de vous retrouver. Vous voilà, monsieur magnifique.
Well, somehow I knew you'd say that.
Asseyez-vous, mon petit. Racontez-moi. Il y a longtemps que vous êtes en Amérique. Qu'est-ce que vous faites? Où habitez-vous?
Well, yes and no.
Why don't you speak to me in French, Marie?
Oh, well, I've gotten in the habit of speaking American. You know, this country is full of Americans.
Still the same, Marie. As a girl, you always made little jokes.
I did?
Yes, you told terrible fibs.
Oh, I guess I haven't changed a bit.
Well, you were quite small when I saw you last. But I seem to remember that your hair was black.
Well, they have beauty shops in America.
And I thought your nose was longer.
They have plastic surgeons, too.
Oh, and instead of blue, I thought your eyes were brown.
Wonderful country, isn't it?
Perhaps my memory fails me. It's been so many years since I held you on my lap.
You used to hold me on your lap?
But of course, don't you remember?
No, darn it.
Well, now I want to hear all about your dear papa. How does he look?
Papa? Well, let's see. How long since you've seen him?
15 years.
Well, he looks 15 years older.
Distressing, but it could happen to anyone.
Poor Papa. He's gotten very gray.
Gray? Well, that's strange. 15 years ago, he was completely bald.
Well, so much for Papa.
But how could a bald man become gray?
Oh, you're talking about his hair.
Yes.
Oh, I was talking about his complexion.
A gray complexion?
Not so good either, huh?
Oh, very bad.
Well, so much for Papa.
Well, my fan sounds like a sick man. Has he given up his hobby?
Oh, no. He's sick in bed, but he keeps up his hobby right in his bedroom.
Oh, that's amazing.
Why?
Well, his hobby is raising goats.
Well, so much for Papa.
Well, another thing I would like to know about him.
Well, Mr. Boyer, I hate to change the subject. Why don't you change it?
Oh, I understand. It troubles you to speak of poor Dumont.
Well, it certainly does. Let's speak of me and the play I'm going to be in.
Oh, so my little Marie has gone on the stage.
Oh, yes, and I'd love you to be my leading man, would you?
Well,
Please do it for me. You'd play the hero, Oklahoma Tex.
Oklahoma Tex.
Yes. Oh, say you'll do it.
Well, how can I refuse? After all, it's a small way in which to repay my debt to Pierre.
Who?
Your papa.
Oh, him. Well, if you'll come over to 202 Cannon Drive this afternoon, we'll rehearse our part.
All right, I'll be there, Mary.
And by the way, at my house, you'd better call me Gracie. My husband always does.
Your husband? Oh, you're married.
Yes. So don't mention how I used to sit on your lap. It's still pretty romantic looking.
But why does your husband call you Gracie instead of Marie?
Well, he can't speak French. But George is a wonderful man.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Oh, by the way, did you keep your promise to your father?
My promise? Oh, of course I kept it.
Of course.
Of course. What was it?
Well, you promised to marry a man in the same business as your father.
Oh, that promise. Sure, I kept it. I wouldn't disappoint Papa.
Well. So my little Mary is married to a wine merchant.
Wine merchant? Oh, yes.
I can't believe it.
Oh, it's hard for me, too.
What is his name again?
George Burns. George Burns, the wine merchant. Well, I'll be running along. See you at my house this afternoon.
It will be good to taste real wine again.
Oh, won't it, though? How do you like your wine? Straight or with 7-Up?
Again, you joke with me. Alors, au revoir, ma petite. Je me réjouis de vous revoir cet après-midi.
Oh, how true.
Well, Charles Boyer has just arrived at the Burns home, still under the impression that Gracie is the daughter of his old friend and that George is in the wine business.
Why, Charles Boyer.
How do you do? Your wife is expecting me.
Really? Well, come in.
Thank you. Your wife is a remarkable woman. She speaks English awfully well, don't you think?
Why, yeah, I have no trouble understanding her.
Oh, she told me about the business you're in. It must be fascinating.
Oh, sure. We have our good years and bad years, of course.
Well, naturally. I understand that 1927 was the finest recent year.
1927? Yeah, I did pretty well that year. Made a big success in Altoona.
Altoona? Oh, I'm not familiar with it. Is it anything like Sauterne?
Sauterne? Well, that's a new one on me. Is it near Scranton?
Well, possibly, but it's closer to Claret.
One of us must be on a detour.
Perhaps I can clear it up. Is this Altoona light?
Well, it's light in the daytime, and then it gets pretty dark.
Light and dark? Oh, I don't think I would like this Altoona.
Well, it didn't seem bad in 1927, but I like Bridgeport better.
Which port?
Bridgeport. It had more bright lights.
Oh, more sparkle,
Yeah, you could put it that way.
Well, this Bridgeport must be similar to Champagne.
Well, Champagne is a lot further west, Illinois.
Oh, naturally, you mean the American Champagne.
Oh, yes. Ever been in it?
Been in it? Don't tell me people bathe in Champagne.
Well, why not? They bathe in Altoona.
But don't the bubbles tickle?
The bubbles, huh?
Yes. Didn't you ever hear of bubbles in Champagne?
No, but I knew a girl named Ginger in Peoria.
Now, look. I'm speaking of Champagne, the wine. Now, you seem rather tense for a man who is in the wine business.
I'm not in the wine business.
Well, that's funny. Your wife told me that you...
Well, Mr. Boyer, I'm so glad to see you.
Gracie, did you tell Mr. Boyer I was in the wine business?
Oh, no. I meant I used to be in it. I used to press the grapes with my little bare feet. But George was never in the wine business.
Oh, what a pity. He could have made a fortune with those feet of his.
Gracie, you used to press grapes with your bare...
Please, George, please. Mr. Boyer wants to discuss our play. He's going to be my leading man, Oklahoma Tex, a rootin' tootin' cowboy.
Now, never in my life have I rooted or tooted.
Gracie, I thought I was going to play Tex.
Oh, yes. Let your husband play the part, Mrs. Burns. I really don't believe I'm the type for a cowboy part.
Oh, Mr. Boyer, you'd be a perfect cowboy. Well, you've even got the eyes for it. Big, dark, brown eyes, just like a cow's.
Oh. Well, all right. I'll do it for you, Papa.
Oh, you know Gracie's old man?
My best friend.
Gracie, where did Mr. Boyer meet you?
Thank goodness. I mean, somebody's at the door. Come in.
Greetings, good people.
Oh, hello, Mr. Bolingbroke. Did you finish the play?
Right. Here are the copies of the script. Still damp with the dew of my genius.
Oh, good. Mr. Bolingbroke, this is our new leading man, Charles Boyer.
How do you do? Sir, permit me to assure you that it is an honor and a privilege to meet such a celebrated actor as Nigel Bolingbroke.
Oh, murder.
Here's your script, Charlie. And yours, Mrs. B.
Hey, how about me? Haven't I got a part?
No. However, I might create a role for you. Is your wallet on your person?
Oh, it's in the den.
Then let us wend our way thither, eh? I create so much better in the presence of money.
Okay, come on.
Now, Mrs. Burns, forgive me if I seem to doubt, but are you sure that you are the daughter of Pierre Dumont?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, have you got a picture of him?
A picture?
Yes, a picture.
Oh, a picture. Is that him on the wall?
No, that's Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, no, I meant the other wall.
Oh, that's George Washington.
Yes. Well, you're very well educated, aren't you? Oh, but I assure you, Mr. Boyer, I am Marie Dumont.
Well, is there someone who could confirm your story? I mean, some Frenchman who knew you and your father back in France?
Some Frenchman?
Oh, hello, Gracie. Oh, you have company.
Why, Marcel Goodwin.
Huh?
Hello, Marcel.
Oh, Gracie, it's just a finger wave. Hey, isn't this Charles Boyer?
Oh, then you see, Mr. Boyer, that proves he's a Frenchman. He recognized you. Mr. Boyer, I want you to meet Marcel Goodwin, who knew my father, Pierre Dumont, and who will tell you that I'm his daughter, and who probably can't stay long after he tells you.
Oh, well, how do you do, Mr. Boyer?
Bonjour, Marcel. Bonjour. Comment ça va?
Huh?
Vous allez bien?
And who no longer speaks French.
Well, Mr. Goodwin, so you knew my old friend Pierre Dumont.
Well, so I've been told. I mean, yes, I've been told that you know him, too.
How did he look when you last saw him?
Well, I tell you, I had to talk to him through the door. He was taking a bath.
Oh, now what did he say?
Well, he said,
Pierre loved his bath.
Oh, didn't he, though? Well, so much for Papa. Goodbye, Marcel.
No, wait. How about Madame Dumont? Of course, you saw her.
Well, yes, she was bathing, too.
In the same tub?
Oh, Papa was a great one to save water.
Oh, well, no, you see, what I meant was he was bathing the baby in the nursery.
Oh, I see. And what did Madame Dumont say to you?
And she said, oui, oui.
Oui, oui. Huh? Talkative woman, Madame Dumont.
Well, so much for Mama. Goodbye, Marcel.
No, wait. Didn't they speak of me?
Oh, yes, of course they did. We talked about nothing else.
Oh, and what did they say?
Well, they said, au revoir, Charles. Au revoir, Marie.
Oh, thank you, Marcel. Well, Mr. Boyer, see you believe me?
Well, I would still like to know.
Well, Mrs. Burns, everything is settled. For an additional $3, I created a splendid part for your husband.
Yeah. As the curtain goes up, I sing a cowboy song off stage.
All right, let's start. Curtain, music, Burns.
I'm heading for the last roundup. Da-da-la-doo-da-la, da-dee-da-la, da-doo-da-la, da-dee. Gonna saddle old plane for the last time and ride.
Is that absolutely necessary?
Oh, of course. It's mood music.
Oh, but don't you think he mooed a little too loud?
And now we are ready for the first scene. Lucy and Oklahoma Tex are sitting in front of the ranch house. Lucy, speak.
Tex, it's a lovely evening, isn't it? Well, go ahead, Mr. Boyer.
Oh, no, look, please, I don't think this part is for me.
Oh, it's perfect for you. Now, come on. Tex, it's a lovely evening, isn't it?
I reckon, as how it is, ma'am, that there sure is a right purty sunset.
Brother.
Tex, if I ask you something, will you answer me true?
We all ain't in the habit of lying down home in Texas, ma'am.
This is the greatest thing since the invention of tear gas.
George, please. Tex, I want the truth. Do you really, honest, and truly love me?
Oh, Gracie, this next line is too much. No, I just
Boy, what will Papa say?
Oh, right. Oh, go on.
Tex, I want the truth. Do you really, honest, and truly love me?
I sure do, gal. I got the doggonest hankering for you.
Tex, I love you too.
Yippee.
Well, now I've heard everything.
No, Gracie, I'm sorry, but I cannot do this play. Really, even for the daughter of my best friend.
Say, that's been bothering me. Where did you know Gracie's father?
Well, he lived outside of Paris.
Sure.
He lived in San Francisco.
Well, isn't that outside of Paris?
Gracie, your role man has never been out of this state.
So my suspicions were correct. You are not the daughter of Pierre Dumont.
Of course not. She's Jughead Allen's daughter. So, you've been up to your old tricks again, huh, Gracie?
Well, I just did it so Mr. Boyer would play Oklahoma Tex, but I guess I was wrong.
You certainly were. I'll apologize to him.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Boyer. And besides, you're much too fine an actor. Much too handsome and romantic to play Oklahoma Tex. You wouldn't be believable as such a stupid character.
Oh, thank you.
Here, George, you've got your part back. Oh, George, guess who's going to be on our program next week? Ida Lupino.
Really?
Yeah, and I'll tell you something amazing. Ida and I were in the tea room last week, and the fortune teller told Ida that she'd meet one of the most handsome and charming men in the world on our program next Tuesday night.
Oh, Gracie. You know how those fortune tellers exaggerate.
Oh, I don't know, George. Bill Goodwin is pretty cute. Well, hello. Come right in. Oh, George, we've got company.
Well, it's Tuesday night again. Time for another pleasant visit with George Burns and Gracie Allen. Our guest is the lovely Ida Lupino. With Jimmy Cash, Felix Mills and his orchestra. And now, meet the people who live in the Burns house, George and Gracie. Before we join the Burnses, let's look in at one of Hollywood's great motion picture studios, where a producer is discussing his new picture with the beautiful and talented star, Ida Lupino.
I'm sorry, Mr. Atchison, but I just won't play the part.
But it's a perfect part for you, Ida. A psychopathic killer who murders her husband.
That's just the point. I've been a mad murderess in my last 3 pictures. People are starting to believe I really am one. Why, when I walk down the street, everybody yells, "Run for your lives, Lupino's loose again."
Oh, but listen, Ida.
Why, yesterday I stopped my car to give 3 kids a lift. When they saw it was me, they ran screaming.
Well, you know how children are.
These were sailors.
Oh.
When sailors run from me, things are really tough. Well, look, isn't there some other part in this picture I could play?
No, the only other woman is a scatterbrained little housewife, a sort of, Gracie Allen.
Well, I'd love to try that. Oh, no, I really would. Suppose I go over to Gracie Allen's house and watch her for a while. Then I could play a dizzy housewife perfectly.
Well, are you sure Gracie's as dizzy in real life as she is on the air?
She married George Burns, didn't she?
Uh-oh. Well, there goes my argument.
George,
What?
you want to know something? You're my great, big, strong, handsome dream lover.
What brought that on?
Just love, dear. We're so different, you and I. I'm like a shy, timid gazelle, and you're like a big, powerful gorilla.
Thanks very much.
Every day I love you a little more. Do you love me?
Oh, sure.
Well, let me hear you say it then.
I love you.
Oh, no. Say it nice.
Oh, Gracie.
Say it nice, George.
I love you, sweetheart.
That's my little sugar face. I could never get angry at you, no matter what you did, darling.
Good.
Could you get angry at me no matter what I did?
No.
You're sweet. Anyway, we can easily get along without it for a few days.
Without what?
The car. I smashed it up this afternoon.
You smashed up the car?
Kinda.
What do you mean, kinda?
You know, kinda completely.
Gracie,
Well, George, it wasn't my fault, honestly. This other car was parked at the curb with nobody in it, and I didn't see it until it ran into me.
A parked car with nobody in it ran into you?
Yes.
Any telephone poles crossing the street at the time?
George.
Look, Gracie, how many times have I told you that I...
Coming.
Hello, Gracie.
Well, Ida Lupino, come right in.
Thank you.
Oh, do you know my husband?
Why, yes, I saw your husband at a party a few months ago.
Oh, sure, I remember. You got there just as I started to sing.
Yes. Did anybody stay for the second chorus?
Yes, it was late. They kind of thinned out.
Well, it's so nice to see you, Ida.
Oh, thank you, Gracie. I'm here to ask your help. You see, I'm going to be a housewife, and I thought you might give me a little advice.
Well, I'd be glad to, Ida. George, you better leave the room.
Why?
Well, this is woman talk. Run along now.
Well, okay. I'll go down to the cigar store for a while.
Oh, I'm so thrilled that you're going to be a wife, Ida. And I'm flattered that you came to me to learn the facts.
But Gracie...
Now, we'll start right at the beginning with the birds and the bees.
Birds and the bees?
Yes. Now, there are two kinds of birds. The he-bird, known as the male, and the she-bird, known as the female. Exciting, isn't it?
Very.
Well, now, when the male bird is young, he just whistles for fun. But as he gets older, he begins to whistle at female birds. That is known as mating.
Oh, Gracie, please.
Oh, I know it's embarrassing, but there are things every young girl should know. Now, Ida, after they're married, the male bird brings home food known as worms. And the female sits on their children known as eggs. Well, that's all.
Well, thank you very much. And now,
now for the bees.
Oh, no.
Yes. There are two kinds of bees. He-bees and she-bees.
You're sure I'm old enough for this?
Well, I hope so. Hundreds of he-bees hang around a she-bee until she picks out the one she wants. That is known as selective service.
Gracie, I hate to say this, but the advice I wanted was a little more advanced.
You mean you already knew about the birds and the bees?
Yes.
My goodness, you sophisticated Hollywood girls.
You see, Gracie, what I want to learn is...
Come in.
Oh, hiya, Gracie. I just dropped by to... Am I glad I did?
Miss Lupino, this is Mr. Goodwin.
How do you do?
Well, this is a pleasure, Miss Lupino. I've always thought you were the loveliest, the most charming, the most delightful, the most talented.
She's getting married soon, Bill.
Oh. Well, Miss Lupino, please don't tell Mr. Ickes what I just said.
Mr. Ickes?
Yeah, he hates to see oil wasted.
Bill, Ida came over to get some matrimonial advice. She already knows about the birds and the bees, and now she's ready for the advanced stuff.
Oh, well, I'm your man, Ida. Move over.
Yes. Bill's an authority. He's engaged to several girls. Go ahead, Bill.
Well, first a girl wants to show her husband that she's thoughtful and affectionate.
But her husband might prefer a kiss.
Oh, well, that comes now, when he carries her across the threshold.
Oh, that's a romantic moment.
Yeah.
Remember when George carried me across the threshold, Bill?
Yeah, well, I ought to. I helped him carry you.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Gracie, that's a girl's big moment. When her husband carries her across the threshold, she says, "Don't put me down, darling. Carry me right into the kitchen."
What? Oh, well, now run along, Bill. Ida and I want to talk.
Well, okay. Goodbye, Miss Lupino. You follow my advice, and your husband will always love you. You'll see her all right. She's very pretty.
Yeah, isn't she?
Yes, sir. Well, goodbye, girl.
Now, Ida, where were we?
Well, Gracie, before we go any further, let me explain that I'm not actually getting married. I'm just going to be a housewife in the picture.
Oh, I see. And who's going to be your husband?
Probably Charles Boyer.
Oh. Well, I'm glad he's just going to be your husband in a picture.
Why?
Well, imagine George trying to explain the birds and the bees to Charles Boyer.
Ida Lupino still thinks she can play the part of a scatterbrained housewife in her next picture if she just watches Gracie in action.
You see, Gracie, the housewife I'm going to play in the picture is, well, actually, she's you.
Me?
Yes.
And Charles Boyer is George?
Well, yes.
I knew it. I knew they'd do it. Sooner or later, I knew they'd do it.
Do what?
Well, they made Antony and Cleopatra, Romeo and Juliet, and now George and Gracie.
Gracie.
The three great love affairs of history. And each one of them has an exciting climax for a picture. Cleopatra is bitten by a snake, Juliet drinks poison, and I marry George.
I see the similarity.
Oh, what a picture it'll be.
Now, tell me more about your married life, Gracie. It'll give me some ideas of how to play this part.
Well, now, I think one reason George and I are so happy together is that we have exactly the same likes and dislikes.
Really?
Yes. For example, I like to put my cold feet on his back, and he dislikes it.
I see. The same likes and dislikes.
Yes.
But what I really want to know is how you handle George.
Oh, well, now, the secret of keeping any husband happy is to show him that you appreciate his sense of humor. You know, laugh at all the funny things he says.
Oh, does George say funny things?
Oh, well, didn't you ever see him in vaudeville?
Yes, that's why I asked.
Oh, he's terribly humorous. Honestly, sometimes he... Oh, look, he's coming up the walk now. You just watch and I'll show you my technique. Hello, dear.
Hello.
Well, say something funny.
Huh?
Oh, that's awfully cute.
Cute?
Oh, adorable. Come on, entertain Ida some more.
How?
Oh, wasn't that clever, Ida? How? That's his imitation of an Indian.
I hate to say this, but I almost missed the point.
Oh, you English people. Oh, but you haven't heard anything yet. He does the funniest imitation of an owl.
Who?
That's it. Isn't it marvelous, Ida?
Girls, I'm going in to read the paper. But before I leave, I've got one that really make you scream. If.
If. Oh, well, sometimes they're even too subtle for me.
Is he always that comical?
Oh, no, sometimes he gets very blue and despondent. And then, of course, I have to cheer him up.
Well, show me how you do that, Gracie.
Well, I've got a better idea. You do it. It'll be wonderful practice for your picture.
Say, it might be a bad.
Well, sure. Just pretend you're me and cheer him up as I would. Say exactly what you think I'd say.
All right.
Yes, I understand, Harry. Thanks for phoning. Goodbye. Oh, hello, Ida. Well, I just had some good news. Gracie smashed up the car today, but the insurance company is taking care of it. Great, huh?
Cheer up, George.
Huh?
Let a smile be your umbrella.
What?
Life is just a bowl of cherries.
Life is a...
Happiness is a thing called Joe.
What are you talking about?
I know you have a silver lining. Just turn yourself inside out.
Do you feel all right?
Ah, smile, George. Remember, it only takes 4 muscles to smile, but you use 12 when you frown.
Ida.
Or you would if you had that many muscles.
Now, wait a minute.
How do you feel now?
When you came in, I felt great.
I knew you'd snap out of it.
You know something? You sound like Gracie.
Oh, thank you, George.
Oh, Ida, that was just magnificent. You were me right to your fingertips. Except, of course, you're prettier.
Oh, Gracie, you shouldn't say that.
I have to. You're my guest.
Well, anyway, thanks to you, Gracie, this is one picture where I won't have to be a psychopathic murderess.
Oh, is there a psychopathic murderess in the picture?
Yes.
What a perfect part for me.
You?
Sure. They're always beautiful, seductive women who wear slinky clothes. All I need is the slinky clothes.
Well, Gracie, you could never make anyone believe you're a murderer.
Oh, no. Well, you just watch this. I'll pretend this glass of water is poison, and I'll go in and get George to drink it.
But, Gracie...
Gracie, what's the matter with that Ida Lupino? She acts like she's crazy.
Really?
What was that?
Here, drink this water.
Thanks. I think I need it. There. You want the rest of it?
No. I'm too young to die.
To die? What's funny?
That water you drank was full of arsenic.
Arsenic?
Yes. I thought it was best that way. And Nax is so messy.
You put arsenic in my water?
Why not? It isn't ration.
What is this, anyway?
Well, sweetheart, don't you get it? I'm acting. I'm a psychopathic killer.
Oh, this is murder.
Of course.
Oh, cut it out.
Well, Ida, you've convinced me. I guess I wouldn't like that part of the murderess.
No, of course you wouldn't, Gracie. That's a pretty gruesome scene where she kills her husband so she can run away with a crooner. You see...
Oh, is there a crooner in the picture?
Yes.
What a perfect part for George.
Oh, Gracie. Please, not that.
But George has a wonderful voice. You know how a bird sounds.
Yes, but...
Well, when George comes on the screen, you'll really hear the bird.
I can believe that. I've heard George sing.
When? Oh, at that party.
Yes, he sang a medley of Irving Berlin tunes, and by the time he got to All Alone, he was.
Oh, but Ida, have you heard George sing since he had his adenoids taken out?
Yes.
Oh. Well, for the picture, he could have them put back in.
No. I'm sorry, Gracie. I don't think George has the voice for the part.
Well, I'm back. Come on in, Bill.
Okay.
Oh, George. George, wait till you hear the news. Ida's producer is coming by, and we're going to ask him to let you sing in her picture.
Really?
Now, Gracie, I didn't say that.
Well, gee, Miss Lupino, you might at least listen to George. Gosh, he's great. Just give him a chance. That's all I ask.
Thanks, Bill.
Why, George can do Jolson, Cantor, Crosby, all of them. Ida, listen, the kid is really great. Just listen to him. I surrender, dear. Isn't he great, Ida?
Yes, Bill. Now I'm going to do an imitation of the RAF, and you're going to be Berlin.
Now, take it easy, George. I'm going.
Out.
Dear, you go inside and limber up your voice. I'll call you when the producer gets here.
Okay. I'm going to get a paper doll that I could call my own.
Gracie, let's face it, even that sample wasn't any good.
Well, no. Gee, maybe he's getting a cold. He sang like he had a hog in his throat.
Most people say a frog, Gracie, but in this case, I think you're right.
I have some cough medicine here in the drawer that should cure him. Well, I hope this won't be too weak. It's only 2%.
Only 2%?
Yeah, 2% cough medicine and 98% alcohol.
98% alcohol. Goodness, don't give him too much of it.
Oh, alcohol won't affect George. He never drinks. Ida, pardon me for just a few minutes. Here, George, drink this.
What's that stuff?
Cough medicine.
I don't need any cough medicine.
But, dear, you want your voice to be in tip-top shape when Ida's producer gets here.
Oh, all right, let's have it.
That's a good voice. Drink it all down. Delicious, huh?
That's awful.
Well, you better have one more glass just to be safe.
Hey, that's enough. I haven't got pneumonia.
Here. And don't leave any.
Didn't taste so bad that time. Say, I think I better have a little more. Never mind the glass. Just hand me the bottle.
Here, dear.
Thanks. Awfully nice cough medicine.
How do you feel now, dear? What did you say? That's what I thought you said. Are you sure you feel all right?
Better felt never.
Huh?
Never belt fatter. What's the matter? Don't you understand English?
Is your throat all right?
Fine. But I seem to have a little stomach stubble.
Oh, my goodness, what have I done? Oh, my, it's the producer.
We're fine. Have him come in and produce.
George, you stay here.
Oh, no, I want to sing for the Purdue. Hiya, folks. I came in to sing for Mr. What's your name, Bud?
Atchison, but I hardly think this is the time to sing.
Is that so, Mr. Attitude? Well, I resent your Atchison.
Oh, please excuse him. His throat is a little tight.
Yes. Right down to his ankles.
Quiet, everybody. I'm going to sing. I'm going to get a paper pal that I could call my own. A pal that other fellas cannot.
Goodbye, Gracie. It's been fun.
Thank you, Ida. We must do this more often. Goodbye, Miss Atchison.
Well, that's the truth there, darling, that I will.
George,
If I
stop.
come home each night.
George,
If I come home.
Stop. Stop singing.
Huh?
You can stop now. They're gone.
You mean to say he left?
Yes.
Gracie, I'll tell you a little secret. You know what I think?
What?
I think Mr. Atchison was as drunk as a goat.
Oh, God.
If I come home each night.
Oh, George, guess who's going to be the guest star on our program next week?
Who?
Kay Kaiser. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes, well.
Oh, I'm so thrilled. Imagine meeting Kay Kaiser, the man who builds all those ships.
Yeah. To knock them out in Boogie Woogie Temple.
Yes.
And now I'd like to take a moment to wish all the luck in the world to Frank Galen, one of my writers who's been with me for 3 years and who goes into the service tomorrow.
All the best, Frank. Well, hello. Come right in. Oh, George, we've got company.
Well, it's Tuesday night again. Time for another pleasant visit with George Burns and Gracie Allen. Our guest, Kay Kaiser, Jimmy Cash, the Swantet, and Felix Mills and his orchestra. And now, meet the people who live in the Burns house, George and Gracie. Well, it's afternoon, and George, on his way home from the office, is just stopping in at the corner cigar store.
Oh, good afternoon, Mr. Burns.
Hello, Stanley. Let me have a box of Perfecto Royales, please.
A whole box, Mr. Burns?
Yeah? How much will that be?
Well, let's see. 50 perfecto royales plus federal tax plus sales tax. That brings it up to exactly 79 cents.
Okay, wrap it up. I want to have them around the house for the holidays.
I see.
I expect a lot of people to drop over.
They certainly will if they smoke those.
Stanley, I happen to like these cigars. They're...
Good evening, Stanley. Why, hello there, George.
Okay, Kaiser. Hello, Kay.
Can I get something for you, Mr. Kaiser?
Yes, Stanley. Wrap up a couple of cartons, please.
2 cartons of what?
Are you kidding?
Oh, of course. Let's come over me, and I hear your program every week. I'll get them right away.
Say, speaking of your program, Kay, I suppose you're always on the lookout for new talent, like a sensational male singer, for example?
Why, sure, George. If I found a new singer, I'd sign him right now.
Well, Kay, I've got just the voice for you.
I'd like to hear it sometime.
Like Jackie Horner in the corner, don't go nowhere, and I don't care.
Excuse me, gentlemen. Here are your packages.
Thanks. Well, so long, George. Have that new singer of yours give me a call sometime.
Oh, sure.
I'm glad you're home early, Judge. I want you to look over my Christmas list.
Okay, I hope you kept it short.
Oh, I did. We're only getting presents for a very few intimate friends. People we're obligated to, like Mr. Galen, Mr. Davis, Mr. Harris, Mr. Casey, Mr. Fitzroy.
Wait a minute. I don't know half these people. Casey? Fitzroy?
Why, darling, Mr. Fitzroy is the man who got us that 20 pounds of butter.
We've got 20 pounds of butter?
Sure.
Well, why don't you ever put some on the table?
All right, I will. Which do you like best, apple or peanut?
Yeah, some obligation. And what did Casey do for us?
Oh, he sent over the suspenders for you to wear tomorrow.
Suspenders?
Mm-hmm. Isn't tomorrow the day you pay your income tax?
Yes. Why do I need suspenders?
Well, didn't you say that after you pay your tax, you'd be caught with your pants?
Never mind. Gracie, this list is a mile long.
Well, they're people we're obligated to.
We're also obligated to the United States Army. But we can't buy 8 million soldiers Christmas presents. Say, wait a minute. There is a way we can give every soldier a present and every sailor and every Marine.
You thought my list was long.
No. I mean, we can do it by making all our Christmas presents war bonds and stamps. Because every time you give someone a bond or a stamp, you're buying guns and bullets for our fighting men.
But, George, I had planned to give Mama a fancy negligee so she'd look attractive to Papa in the mornings.
Instead of a negligee, we'll have to give your Mama a war bond.
All right. But that's going to leave an awful lot of Mama uncovered.
Honey, we won't give her the bond to wear. It's to keep.
Oh.
The government calls bonds the investment with a future, and they're right. Every bond you buy brings the end of the war a little nearer. And it brings the real old-fashioned Merry Christmas nearer, too, with all the boys back home again.
Oh, well, that settles it. We're giving war bonds and stamps.
Atta girl.
But there is one present I'd like to get for my girlfriend, Tootsie Sagwell. But they're scarce as the dickens. The government's using all the good ones.
What is it?
A man.
You want to give Tootsie a man for Christmas?
Well, why not? They're no scarcer than Kleenex, and they last much longer.
Gracie, when are you going to stop trying to find...
Come in.
Hiya, folks.
Hello, Bill.
Oh, Bill, you always come in just at the right time.
I do?
Yes. Bill, on Christmas morning, how would you like to be found under Tootsie Sagwell's tree?
Unconscious.
Bill, please be Tootsie's Christmas present.
Oh, I can't, Gracie. Really, it'd confuse everybody. People would see me with Tootsie, and they'd say, look at that fickle Bill Goodwin.
Well, could you suggest some man who might marry Tootsie?
Well, let's see. Yes, I know a man who'll marry Tootsie. Fred Beck.
Fred Beck? Oh, where can I find him?
Down at the courthouse. He's a justice of the peace, and he'll marry Tootsie for $2. So long.
Now, Gracie, forget this crazy idea of giving Tootsie a man for Christmas. You couldn't find her a man at Camp Roberts.
I know. Tootsie shopped there all last week.
No luck, huh?
No. The soldiers all had guns.
Now, listen, Gracie, I'm putting my foot down. If you bother one more man trying to get Tootsie married, I'm going to stop your allowance. Do you understand?
Stop my allowance?
Yes, I'm going to stop. Come in.
Here, George. Take it quick.
Oh, hello, Kay. What's this?
Your cigars. Stanley got our packages mixed up.
Oh.
Yeah, when I unwrapped the package, all the neighbors started phoning in to get my recipe for southern fried cabbage.
Kay, Perfecto Royales happen to be a very...
George.
Oh, excuse me, darling. I'd like you to meet Kay Kaiser. Kay, this is Mrs. Burns.
Well, evening, Miss Burns. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, ma'am.
Oh, that wonderful accent.
Oh, thank you.
Are you from the same part of Francis Charles Boyer?
Mrs. Burns, I'm a native from North Carolina, born and raised there.
Well, I'll get you cigarettes, Kay. Excuse me for a moment.
I'll bet your wife was angry when you smelled up the house with George's cigars.
I haven't got a wife.
You haven't?
No, ma'am. I'm a bachelor.
Well, here goes my allowance.
I beg your pardon?
Nothing. Mr. Kaiser, how would you like to have dinner with us tonight?
Well, that's very nice of you.
Oh, wonderful. Be here at 7.
All right. Is it formal?
Oh, no. Just wear a green shirt and a red tie and put a little tinsel in your lapel.
Gee, what do you want me to look like, a Christmas present?
You professors are so smart.
Well, Gracie got George out of the house and immediately called Tootsie Sagwell over to tell her that her Christmas present will be Kay Kaiser.
Oh, Gracie, I'm so thrilled. Mr. Kaiser is such a cute little fella.
Yes. And a husband is such a practical gift, Tootsie. They wear well. George has certainly worn, and everybody says he looks it.
You know, maybe I'd appeal to Mr. Kaiser more if I were a Southern girl.
Say, that's a good idea. First, we'll change your name. Well, Sagwell is all right, but you should have a real Southern first name like Lulabelle or Ella May or Stonewall.
How about Scarlet?
Scarlet Sagwell. No. That would only fit you if you had red hair.
Well, let's use a name that does match my hair.
Oh, Tootsie, how would that sound? Rainbow Sagwell.
You're right, Gracie. But say, suppose Mr. Kaiser asks me something about the South that I can't answer.
Oh, well, that's easy. Just tap him on the head with your parasol and say, fetch me a julep.
Oh, all right. Oh, what sort of dress should I wear?
Well, cotton, naturally. You're a Southern belle.
Gee, my only cotton dress is full of holes.
Well, that's wonderful. You can tell him that the boll weevils followed you to California.
That makes me sound alluring.
Well, sure. There's one thing I better warn you about, though, Tootsie. Don't be too rough with Mr. Kaiser. He's George's type, you know, frail but cuddly.
George's type?
Well, don't sound so sad. There's nothing wrong with George's type. He's adorable.
Well...
And so is Mr. Kaiser. My goodness, when you go to a zoo, do you always look at the gorilla? The little monkeys are cuter and no more tricks.
Oh, well, I'm not complaining, Gracie.
Oh, look. Here comes Mr. Kaiser up the walk now.
Oh, good. I'll run out on the porch and carry him across the threshold.
Oh, no, Tootsie. You mustn't meet him until after I get him in a marrying mood. Now, hurry out the back way and come back after dinner.
All right, Gracie, I'll be here.
Come in.
Well, evening, Miss Burns. I hope I'm not too early.
Oh, no, Mr. Kaiser. I'm glad you came early. I want to talk to you.
Oh, you do?
Yes. You know, ever since we met this afternoon, I've been worrying about you. You poor, miserable little thing.
What?
You must be so lonely without a wife.
Oh, that.
Yes. Married life is beautiful. Why, just seeing George in the morning standing there in front of the mirror in his pajamas, stretching and scratching himself. It makes me happy.
Yeah, I think I'd get a laugh out of that myself.
Kaiser, marriage is wonderful. Sometimes in the middle of the night, I sit up in bed frightened by a sudden noise. And then I see George lying there with his little rosebud mouth open, and I'm not afraid.
You're not?
No. Just turn him over on his stomach and the noise stops.
Well, you make marriage sound mighty attractive.
Oh, it's wonderful. And you love the girl I have picked out for you.
Well, you're certainly a fast worker. Who is she?
Oh, well, she's a southern girl. Lulu Sagwell.
Oh, Southern. Lulabelle Sagwell. Is she pretty? Or is it silly to ask that?
It's silly.
Say, tell me what she looks like.
She's a wonderful cook.
But what does she look like?
She cooked all those southern dishes.
Has she got a nice figure?
Wait till you see those spare ribs.
But what does Lulabelle look like?
Oh, hello, Kay. I'm sorry I'm late getting here.
Oh, that's all right, George. Your wife's been telling me about Lulabelle.
Lulabelle? Gracie, who's Lulabelle?
George, may I speak to you alone for a moment? Excuse us, Mr. Kaiser.
Certainly.
George, you almost spoiled everything.
Why? Who's Lulabelle?
She's a dog who needs a home.
Oh, a dog.
Yes, and I want Mr. Kaiser to take her, but she's not a thoroughbred, and I didn't want him to find out.
I see. What sort of a dog is she?
Oh, big and shaggy, but very smart and affectionate.
Well, I think Kay would be glad to get her.
Well, I do, too. Now, darling, I have to get dinner on the table, so you entertain Mr. Kaiser.
All right, dear. Sorry we walked out on you that way, Kay.
Oh, that's all right. Did Miss Burns tell you about Lulabelle?
Yeah, and you'll love her. The big ones are more company for a man.
Oh, you mean Lulabelle is kind of hefty?
Yeah, but I wouldn't worry about her eating a lot. Horse meat is cheap.
Horse meat? Gee, I couldn't feed her that stuff.
Well, why not? They're pretty dumb, Kay. Just boil the horse meat and they never know the difference.
You're a shrewd man, George.
Lulabelle sounds great to me. I've always liked them with long hair.
Yeah, me too. I bet it'll look mighty nice on the pillow when we wake up in the morning.
You're going to let her sleep in bed?
Well, it's customary, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I guess it's all a matter of taste.
Well, I am the affectionate type, you know.
Well, so is Lulabelle. You'll get along swell, Kay. When you come home at night, you can pat her on the head and she'll stick her cold nose in your hand.
Well, if that's all, we won't be together long.
That's not all. You can take her out for a walk every morning and every night.
Well, that's not bad, but what appeals to me is getting up in the morning and finding that Lulabelle has my breakfast all ready for me.
That's expecting too much. Of course, you might teach her to bring in the morning paper.
You know, George, she doesn't sound like the brightest female in the world.
Oh, you'll love her, Kay. In fact, I'll make you a proposition.
What, Joy?
You take Lulabelle for a couple of weeks, and if you don't like her, I'll take her.
Huh?
Well, boys, dinner is ready. Come on in and sit down.
Gee, I wish Lulabelle could be sitting at the table with us.
Well, if she was here, she'd be under the table.
Oh, she likes to take a little nip, huh?
Well, of course, Kay. They all like it.
Oh, well, that's enough, boys. There'll be no talk about Lulabelle during dinner.
All right.
All right.
Well, the Burnses and their guest, Kay Kaiser, have just finished dinner, and Gracie expects Tootsie to arrive any minute.
Oh, you sure? I've got a nice place here, George. Real homey. Plenty of books, picture of your wife on the piano, picture of you on the desk.
Oh, that's not me. That's Gracie's girlfriend, Tootsie.
Who?
Oh, my girlfriend. How do you like it?
Well, Miss Burns, in my day, I've paid lots of compliments to lots of girls. But right now, I'm going to cut loose with the biggest compliment of my career.
Good.
I'm going to say that girl is unattractive.
Brother, that's real flattery. How about a cigar, Kay?
Oh, no, thanks, George. I only have two hands, one to hold a cigar and one to strike the match.
Well?
Well, who's going to hold my nose?
Okay, if that's the way you feel, I'll go in the den and smoke my cigar.
Oh, here, George, take another one with you.
I only smoke one after dinner.
Well, I know, but you can use the other one to plug up the keyhole.
You people just don't appreciate the finer things.
Mr. Kaiser, you were only fooling about Tootsie's picture, weren't you? She's really cute, huh?
No, Miss Burns, she'll never look good to me. Not as long as I got my glasses on.
Your glasses?
Mm-hmm. I'm blind as a bat without them.
Oh, really?
Yep, I can't see a thing. One time down home, I got in big trouble. I lost my glasses on Election Day and marked a Republican ballot.
So, you can't see without your glasses?
No, ma'am.
Oh, look, they've got a spot of gravy on them. Here, give them here and I'll wipe them off.
Oh, no, I can do it.
No, let me. You're my guest and it's my gravy.
All right, well, here you are.
Now you can't see, huh?
That's right.
I'll bet you can. How many fingers am I holding up?
Where are you? Come on, give me back my glasses
But,
now.
Mr. Kaiser, Lulabelle will be here in a minute, and I want her to see those great, big, beautiful blue eyes of yours naked.
Oh, but I can't see you. I can't see.
Pardon me, Mr. Kaiser.
Is he here, Gracie? Is my little Christmas bundle here?
Oh, yes, and I fixed everything. He can't see a thing without his glasses, and I've hidden them.
Oh, how wonderful. A little like shooting fish in a barrel, but wonderful.
Well, now, come on, and don't forget that you're a Southern belle. Oh, Mr. Kaiser, I'd like you to meet my little friend, Lulabelle.
Well, I'm pleased to meet you, Lulabelle, but my goodness, aren't you wearing your hoop skirt kind of high?
Oh, Mr. Kaiser, you're looking at the floor lamp.
Oh.
Yes, sir. I'm over here, Mr. Kaiser. Honey child, you all?
Say, how long have you been out here in Hollywood, Lulabelle?
Oh, ever since I've been a teeny little old baby.
Uh-huh. Well, for being away from the South that long, you sure have an accent.
Well, she gets an awful lot of mail from home.
Yes, heaps.
Well, you two just sit down on the divan and get acquainted. I'll see you later. Oh, my Lulabelle. You look more like Hedy Lamarr every day.
Hedy Lamarr? Doggone, I sure wish I had my glasses. Say, Miss Lulabelle, what would you say if I were to pinch your cheek?
I'd say slowpoke.
Hey, George, Gracie, where is every... Oh, no, Kaiser and Sagwell necking.
Well, who is it? Who's there, Lulabelle?
Lulabelle?
Yes, I'm Lulabelle, and Mr. Kaiser wants to make love to me. Now, get out of here. You all bill, sir?
Oh, no, this I gotta see. I'll just sit down here beside you. Go right ahead, kid.
Bill, where were we, Mr. Kaiser?
I was about to pinch your cheek.
Go ahead.
My, what a smooth, soft skin.
Thanks. What?
Oh, don't pay him no mind, Mr. Kaiser. Let's get on with our hugging. Come here, man.
Oh, you're breaking me in two. Make her let go.
Oh, not me, Kay. Now that she's got a man, it'll be safe for me to leave my window open at night.
Oh, Bill, say, what's going on in that room?
Well, George, sugar, you wouldn't believe it if your mammy done told you. So long.
Gracie, what's he talking about?
Well, Kay Kaiser's in there with Lulabelle.
Oh, the dog.
The dog? Oh, yes. It looks like everything is settled. What sort of a present should we give them?
Present? Well, we might buy Lulabelle's license.
Oh, she's had a license in her hope chest for years.
Hope chest?
Look, well, good night, folks. I'm getting out of here.
What's the matter, Kay?
I just found my glasses.
What?
Yes, sir. Brother, that Lulabelle's a dog.
He's a little bit crazy, isn't he? What did he expect, a trained seal?
Yeah. He's silly, isn't he?
Yeah. I think I'll have a look at Lulabelle. Maybe we can keep
No, wait, George.
Tootsie Sagwell.
Oh, quick. Tootsie, roll over and wag your tail.
So that's it.
Well, hello. Come right in. Oh, George, we've got company.
Well, it's Tuesday night again. Time for another pleasant visit with George Burns and Gracie Allen. Our guests, the MGM star Charles Lawton and his charming wife Elsa Lanchester, Jimmy Cash, and Felix Mills and his orchestra. And now meet the people who live in the Burns house, George and Gracie.
Gee, that's a swell-looking Christmas tree you got, Gracie.
Oh, isn't it handsome? I picked this tree for sentimental reasons.
You did?
Yes. You see how it's little at the top and spreads out at the bottom?
What's sentimental about it?
It reminds me of you.
Thanks, dear.
Oh, won't it be wonderful, darling, spending another Christmas together?
You bet.
And this year it's got to be a real white one.
A white Christmas?
Yes.
Gracie, it never snows in Hollywood.
Oh, I didn't mean that. But remember the sheets we sent to the laundry 6 months ago?
Oh, they're back?
Yes.
We'll have a white Christmas and a starchy New Year, yeah.
Oh, remember our first Christmas, George? You were dating me then.
Sure, I remember.
You kissed me under the mistletoe. My, you were a fiery lover.
I was?
Yeah. Oh, look. We're under the mistletoe now. How about a kiss?
Oh, Gracie.
Oh, come on. I want to see if your kisses are still fiery.
Okay. Well?
I guess they're not making mistletoe like they used to.
Well, come on. We better get busy and trim the tree.
All right, and then we'll go to the pageant rehearsal.
Pageant rehearsal?
Oh, I forgot to tell you. Nigel Bolingbroke is staging a Christmas pageant. I'm the Snow Queen, and you're going to be Santa Claus.
Look, I'm not going to be Santa Claus for that broken-down pool room bum.
But, George, it's a wonderful part. You come down the chimney and put presents in the bottles that are hanging by the fireplace.
Wait a minute. Bottles hanging by the fireplace?
Yeah, liquid stockings.
Oh, I see.
You'll be such a cute little Santa Claus with a pillow stuffed in your coat and a long...
Gracie, I'm not going to be in the pageant.
Well, you're very silly, dear. A talent scout might see you. Why, Lana Turner was discovered just sipping a soda in a drugstore.
Well, maybe Lana Turner had more to offer than I would as Santa Claus.
Oh, I don't know. With a pillow in front of you, you'd have...
Never mind.
Come in.
Greetings, good people. 'Tis I, Bolingbroke.
Oh, hello, Maestro. I was just telling George that we want him to play Santa Claus in our pageant.
Yes, and I turned it down, Cue Ball.
Well, you can't be serious, Burns. What a pageant it will be. The very thought of the first scene warms my heart. As the curtain rises, the stage is crowded with little children. Little tots too young to have an agent, all working for nothing.
Yes, that would warm your heart.
And then, tally-ho! Out upon the stage comes jolly old St. Nick in his sleigh.
Drawn by his faithful reindeer, Dunder and Blitzen, Dancer and Prancer, Comet and Garrett Lydecker.
Comet and Garrett Lydecker?
It's an actor friend of mine. Though reduced to playing a reindeer, he insists upon full billing.
Look, I don't want to have anything to do with this broken-down pageant.
Apparently, Mrs. Burns, we must seek elsewhere for a Santa.
Oh, I've got it. The perfect Santa Claus. Charles Lawton.
Oh, stop.
Well, he's already got a big bundle. Oh, he has to do is move it around to the back.
Gracie, you'll never get a man like Charles Lawton to be in the silly pageant.
Hey, folks, am I interrupting anything?
Not a thing, Bill.
Well, friend Goodwin, I'm so happy to see you. Your arrival is most opportune.
Will $50 be enough?
Don't be crude, my dear fella. I merely wish to proffer you the role of Santa Claus in our Christmas pageant.
Oh, well, you're too late, Cue Ball. I'm taking Santa's place at the department store Toyland this week.
Oh, really, Bill?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'll bet it's fun giving the kiddies presents.
Oh, it is, Gracie. You ought to see their little faces light up.
If Bill won't be our Santa Claus, I better get in touch with Mr. Lawton right away.
Oh, now, Gracie, surely you're not serious about this. Surely you wouldn't bother a great actor like Charles Lawton with this silly pageant? I know I can trust you.
Mama's little dreamer.
Gracie, I want you to promise me that you won't ask him.
Well...
Go on, promise.
All right, I promise.
Good. Now behave yourself while I go down to the cigar store.
Well, I'd better start for Mr. Lawton's house.
Well, Gracie, you just promised George.
I promised I wouldn't ask Mr. Lawton to be Santa Claus.
Yes?
But I didn't promise I wouldn't ask his wife to ask him.
Oh, you're going to talk to Mrs. Lawton, Elsa Lanchester.
Sure. The way to a man's heart is through his wife.
I thought it was through his stomach.
Well, in Mr. Lawton's case, there's a shorter way.
Why, Gracie.
Hello, Elsa.
Come in, dear. It's been ages since I've seen you.
Yes, I guess the last time was at Maggie Ettinger's party.
That's right. Charming affair, wasn't it?
Oh, delightful. She's such a wonderful hostess. Of course, the sandwiches were terribly small.
True, and the cocktails were rather poisonous.
And the flowers on the table were all droopy.
Most of the guests were droopy, too.
Yeah, and Maggie had on the same dress she's worn at the last 3 parties.
The last 4? But it really was a charming party.
Oh, delightful. Well, I better get down to business, Elsa. Do you think Charles would like to play Santa Claus in a Christmas pageant?
Santa Claus?
Yes. It would be a nice change from his movie work, and I know how tiring that can be.
What do you mean?
Well, George and I saw him in a picture not long ago, and I remember saying, George, Charles must be working too hard. He doesn't look well.
What picture was that?
The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yes, he did look a bit seedy in that one.
But he'd look fine as Santa Claus.
Why don't you have George play the part?
Well, I asked him to, but he wouldn't do it.
You mean he refused?
Uh-huh.
But that's ridiculous. It's absurd. After all, he's only a husband.
Well, doesn't Charles ever refuse?
I should say not. He wouldn't dare. Gracie, does George wear the pants in your house?
Well, not so much in the house, but always when he goes out.
I mean, is he boss?
Oh, sure.
You've obviously let him get out of hand. Can't you control him at all?
Well, George was pretty well under control the first few years we were married, but then my mother left.
But, Gracie, the wife must be boss. For example, Charles serves me breakfast in bed. Does George do that?
Oh, no. He makes me come down to the table before he serves mine.
What about closing the windows and turning the heat on in the morning?
Oh, well, I've been doing that recently. It's icy cold in the room when we wake up.
All the more reason why you should make George do it.
Oh, I don't have the heart, Elsa. He lies there and looks at me so pathetically with those 2 big blue lips.
You're too soft, Gracie. Be like me. Keep Charles under your thumb.
My.
I lay down the law and he obeys it.
Gee.
I crack the whip and he jumps.
Really?
Absolutely. And to prove it, I promise you that Charles will play Santa Claus because I'll order him to play it.
Oh, you're sweet. So full of the real Christmas spirit.
Come on, let's go up to the attic. There's a red flannel nightshirt there that I made him stop wearing. It might do for part of the costume.
Well, why did you make him stop wearing it?
Oh, bad for my nerves. He looked exactly like a burning building.
Well, while the girls were in the attic, Mr. Lawton came home. He just hung up his hat when there was a knock at the door.
Oh, hello. Come on in, George.
Oh, thanks, Charles. Thanks. Say, Charles, I'm looking for Gracie. Is she here?
Why, George, how flattering.
I thought maybe I asked Gracie. I asked Gracie to tell you that for you not to be in her Christmas pageant. I told her not to do it, but I thought maybe she did anyway.
You meant she might have disobeyed you?
Sure.
That's ridiculous. I mean, that's absurd. After all, she's only a wife.
Well, doesn't Elsa ever disobey you?
I should say not. She wouldn't dare. You're too soft, George. You let Gracie run over you.
Really?
Certainly. You're the husband. You're entitled to be boss. Who brings the money in your family? Who earns the living? I say, you are in rather an awkward spot, aren't you?
Yes, I guess so.
Believe me, I keep Elsa under my thumb.
My.
I lay down the law and she obeys it.
Gee.
I crack the whip and she jumps.
Really?
Absolutely.
You wear the pants around here, huh?
I haven't had them off in 17 years.
Boy, you go out whenever you want to, huh?
Not a question.
Your wife doesn't complain when you have the boys over for poker?
She wouldn't dare.
Well, how does she feel about smoking cigars in the living room?
I'd never let her do it.
No, I mean, can you do it?
I do as I please, and if Elsa so much as raises an eyebrow at me, I turn her across my knee and spank her.
What was that, Charles?
Oh, hello, darling. I didn't know you were home.
Evidently not. Gracie, give me that flannel nightshirt.
Oh, here you are, Elsa.
Charles, take this to your room and sew legs on it. You're going to be Santa Claus.
But
Don't
Angel,
argue
darling,
with me, fat boy. Go to your room.
Yes, dear.
George Burns, you go and help him.
But, Gracie.
Don't argue with me, skinny boy.
Yes, dear.
Gee, Elsa, this is fun.
Well, Mr. Lawton, so you don't wear the pants in your family after all.
No, George, I confess, I wear the girdle.
I can't believe it. A big guy like you afraid of your wife.
It's a secret I've kept from the whole world. Why, outside of my home, everyone's afraid of me. Policemen tremble when I talk to them. Truck drivers get out of my way. Department store clerks actually wait on me.
But at home, you're a milquetoast.
Yes, it's terrible. I went to a psychoanalyst.
What did he say?
He said, talk back to your wife. Don't be afraid of her. He was a single man.
I guess that. But, Charles, why are you so afraid of Elsa? Does she beat you?
Oh, of course not. That's just the point. She's sweet to me, and I love her. But I want to be boss, and she won't let me.
Say.
I long to be the caveman type. I go to a Humphrey Bogart picture and just sit there and drool.
Well, haven't you ever gotten up enough nerve to do anything about it?
Well, once I did lose my temper. Elsa criticized my work.
That got you, huh?
Yeah, so I took off my apron, threw down my broom, and walked out of the house.
You're a tiger. You know...
Come in.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Lawton. I was looking for Gracie. Oh, hello, George.
Hello, Bill. Charles, this is Bill Goodwin.
How do you do?
Well, gee, Mr. Lawton, you don't have to stick your tongue out at me.
That's his lip. He's pouting.
Oh.
He's henpecked.
Ah, go on. Not Charles Lawton. He's too tough. Why, I can still hear him saying, Mr. Christian, come here.
Bill, we're serious. Gracie saw Elsa dominate Charles, and now I'm henpecked, too.
Well, what are you, George, a man or a mouse? Get tough with Gracie. Scare her.
How? Tell her I'll leave her?
No, don't bribe her. Scare her.
Bill. Say, Charles, maybe we should try to scare our wives.
You're right. If we're ever going to get the upper hand, now's our chance, while there's a shortage of men.
Right. Now you're talking. Out.
George, let's go in there and pin their ears back.
Okay.
We'll show them who's boss.
You said it.
We'll scare the life out of them.
I'll say we will.
You go first.
Well, we better go in together.
You're right. United we stand.
That's the stuff.
Nothing can stop us.
Now you're talking.
We're husbands on the warpath.
That's us.
Let's have a drink first.
That's a good idea. One quick one to give us nerve.
Yes, I'll cut some lemon and put on the teapot.
Oh, never mind that. Let's go in and get this over with.
Right you are. It's now or never.
Sure.
Our wives can't push us around.
I'll say.
Men are meant to be masters, not women.
Right.
Do you think we'd better arm ourselves?
Oh, come on. We're not afraid of them. Remember Captain Bligh.
Very well. Are you with me?
Yes.
Let's go.
Good.
Mrs. Lawton.
Mrs. Burns.
Yes, dear? Yes, dear.
Sit down.
Sit down.
We are sitting.
Then stand up.
Stand up.
Charles, what is the meaning
Quiet. We have come to deliver an ultimatum.
Yes. Yes.
Henceforth, we will give the orders, not you. And to start with, we will not play Santa Claus.
That's right.
So you can take this Santa Claus suit and stuff it in the chimney.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, my goodness, what happened?
Charles must have gotten into my vitamin capsules.
Well, Elsa, if we let him get away with this, we're sunk.
You're right. They might tell other husbands and organize.
Yeah. And men are scarce now, even men like ours.
I don't know what to do. I've never seen Charles like this before.
Oh, I could handle your husband, but I wouldn't know what to do with George.
Oh, George is no problem.
Yeah. Say, I have an idea. I'll handle your husband, and you handle mine.
It's a deal. Mr. Burns, may I see you alone for a moment?
Why, of course, Elsa.
Oh, and Mr. Lawton, I'd like to speak with you.
What is it, Elsa?
Sit down, George. I'll sit here at your feet.
Well, if that's the way you like it, it's...
Your feet have so much character, George. What size are they?
11s.
The best size. There can be no nonsense about a man who has so much of him on the ground.
Look, if you're trying to flatter me into playing Santa Claus, you...
Oh, no, George. I admire you for refusing. You were so virile, so masterful.
Well, Charles spoke up, too.
Only because he had your strength to lean on.
Really?
You are strong, aren't you, George?
Well, I'm not exactly a panty waist.
Modest boy. Flex your arm and let me feel your muscle.
Okay. Grab hold.
Go on. Flex it.
It's flexed.
How nice to have smooth muscles that don't make lumps.
Yeah.
Your personality and your gorgeous, resonant voice.
And misbehaving all by myself.
Oh, you sing, too.
Of course.
Do you ever sing any lighter things, such as Christmas carols?
Oh, sure. Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Magnificent, George.
Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Incredible. You actually seem to have bells that swing back and forth in your throat.
Those are tonsils.
What a pity the world must be robbed of such beauty.
Huh?
If you played Santa Claus and made your entrance singing jingle bells, it would be the theatrical event of the century.
Bigger than the Avon Comedy Fall?
I think so. Well, why discuss it? I admire the stand you've taken, and you mustn't change it.
Wait a minute. You can't tell me what to do.
I can't?
No. If I want to play Santa Claus, nobody can stop me.
Oh, George, you're so strong. So terribly strong.
Oh, jingle bells, jingle bells.
And so, Mrs. Burns, if you have any notion of wheedling me into the part of Santa Claus in your moth-eaten pageant, forget it. I won't do it, and that's final.
Then I may as well go?
You may as well.
All right. I won't bother you anymore. May I have a picture of you to take with me?
You women seem to picture me.
Yes. And if it's not too much trouble, please sign it. To Gracie from the greatest actor of all time.
Oh, it's no trouble at all, my dear. But do you really think I'm the greatest?
Oh, certainly. I've seen lots of actors, but you're head and shoulders and so on and so forth above them all.
Very well, here's your picture.
But you didn't write from the greatest actor of all time.
It's stamped on all my pictures.
Oh, my, you're handsome. I can't understand those silly people who stand in line for hours to see an Errol Flynn movie. I wait until one of your pictures is playing, and then I go right in and pick out the best seat in the house.
I had no idea you were such a devoted admirer.
Oh, I'm not the only one. You know, I saw a revival of Henry VIII not so long ago, and when you played one scene, the whole audience was in tears.
The scene where I was a feeble, broken old man.
No, the scene where you took a big bone with lots of meat on it and threw it to the dogs.
One time, that was considered quite amusing.
I love to hear you deliver lines, Mr. Lawton. Those rich, beautiful sounds come pouring out of you like wine out of a barrel.
Thank you, I think.
Mr. Lawton, I'll bet you could take just any old words and make them sound wonderful. Like, for instance, ho dancer, ho prancer.
Doesn't Santa Claus say that to his reindeer?
Yes, try it.
Ho dancer, ho prancer. Jove, it does sound good, doesn't it?
Of course it does.
But I'm not satisfied. I see dancer as a more delicate deer than prancer. How's this? Ho dancer, ho prancer.
Oh, you're cute.
No, Prancer needs to be polished. I see Prancer as a frisky animal, always kicking up his heels, something like this. Ho dancer. Ho, 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 Prancer.
Oh, what a pity that such a great performance should never be heard.
But it shall be heard. I insist that it be heard.
Oh, you're so masterful, Charles. I guess I'll have to give in.
Well, Gracie, your problem is solved. George is in there, and he's agreed to play Santa Claus.
What? Over my dead body?
Well, Gracie, it looks like you're going to have two Santa Clauses for your pageant.
Well, yeah. I think the admission tickets will have to be brown ration stamps.
What for?
Well, won't we be giving the audience the two biggest hams in the world? Say, George, you know who our guest is next week? John Garfield.
Oh, swell.
Oh, that poor boy. He's always been throwing into prison.
Oh, yes. They throw him into prison for $30,000 a week.
Say, do you think we can spring him in time for our show?
I'll talk to his agent. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Well, hello. Come right in. Oh, George, we've got company.
Well, it's Tuesday night again. Time for another pleasant visit with George Burns and Gracie Allen. Our guests, the Warner Brothers star John Garfield, Jimmy Cash, the Swan-Tet, and Felix Mills and his orchestra. And now meet the people who live in the Burns house, George and Gracie. Well, it seems that George was out with the boys last night for a little stag poker game. He's now getting breakfast and a subtle cross-examination from the little woman.
Did you have fun playing poker with the boys, sweetheart?
Yeah. Swell bunch of fellas.
Were the girls pretty?
Girls? There were no girls, sweetheart.
Oh, really, sweetheart?
Of course, sweetheart. What makes you think there were?
You talk in your sleep, sweetheart.
What?
You talked in your sleep. I know all about that fat girl named Kitty.
Fat girl named Kitty?
Yeah. You said, Oh, look at that kitty. What a pot.
Honey, that's a poker expression. That refers to the chips on the table.
Oh, I see. Were the girls pretty?
Gracie, for the last time, there were just men in the game. Do you understand?
Yes, dear.
And all we did was play poker.
Yes, dear.
Shame on you for being suspicious.
Yes, dear.
Stop saying yes, dear.
Don't you tell me what to say, George Burns. I'll say what I please, understand?
Yes, dear.
Every wife has a right to be suspicious.
Yes, dear.
And stop saying yes, dear.
Don't tell me what to say. I'll say what I please. You understand?
Yes, dear.
Oh, stop with that.
All right, darling. I'm sorry I doubted you. It's just that I'm so unreasonably jealous of you, George. Oh, please don't think I'm silly.
I don't, Gracie.
I know it's hard to understand, but I love you.
I love you, too.
You're mine, and I'll fight to keep you. It's instinct.
All right, dear.
Just like a dog fights to keep a worthless old bone.
All right, now let's forget it.
Oh, tell me more about the poker game, darling. Who played?
Oh, a bunch of fellas from radio and movies. There was Brian Donlevy and Jack Cayley, Jack Benny. You should have heard Jack Benny scream. He lost about 55 or 60.
Well, I don't blame him.
Well, I lost more than he did. I lost $1.10.
My, that was some game.
Well, we just played for the fun of it, penny ante. But the embarrassing thing was, I didn't have enough money to pay off. I had to write a check.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness, I forgot to tell you. I changed banks.
Changed banks?
Yeah, well, the old bank wasn't keeping our money for us.
What do you mean?
I went in to make a deposit, and as fast as I put money in, the clerk at the next window was handing it out.
Gracie, why didn't you tell me you changed banks? Now the check is no good. John Garfield will think I'm a... He'll absolutely think I'm a welcher.
John Garfield? Is that who you gave the bad check to?
Yes.
Oh, George, he'll kill you.
Kill me?
Well, isn't he a gangster?
Gangster? Have you ever met him?
No, I've never even seen him. But I know he's a cold-blooded murderer who robs the very people he works for.
What?
Well, it said right in the Weller Parsons column, John Garfield, Hollywood's #1 killer, steals new Warner Brother picture.
Oh, sure. He kills about 30 or 40 people a season.
Oh, you see?
Well, I better hurry to the bank and straighten this out.
Oh, George, don't leave the house without a bodyguard.
Goodbye, dear.
Oh, but those gangsters are desperate men.
Hi, folks.
Hello, Bill. Goodbye, Bill.
Gracie, what's the matter with George?
Oh, Bill, they may shoot him.
Why, did he break a leg?
No. He gave a gangster a bad check for $1.10.
Oh, Gracie, is that all you're worried about?
Well, don't laugh. You're just like George. You don't know the code of the underworld, but I do. They'll shoot him and tie weights on him and put him in a barrel of concrete and throw him in the river. And George can't swim.
Oh, I wouldn't worry, Gracie.
But, Bill, you don't know those gangsters.
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, Bill, I don't think you're taking this seriously. I'm worried about George. Well, if anything happened to him, I couldn't go on. I'd do something desperate.
Well, Gracie, you don't mean you...
Yes, I might.
Oh, no.
But I'm worried about my husband.
Well, Gracie, nothing will make him beautiful.
Oh, Bill, maybe that's the killer now, to take George away.
Oh, now, don't be frightened, Gracie. Come in.
Well, greetings, good people. 'Tis I, Bolingbroke.
Oh, hello, Cue Ball.
Oh, Mr. Bolingbroke, I'm so glad it's you. I thought you were a man coming to take George.
Well, I had hoped to take him for a little. Where is your husband?
Oh, by now he's probably lying in some gutter.
Gadzooks, where did he get the stuff?
Oh, no. I mean, a gangster is after him because he welched on a gambling debt. Oh, if you'll help me save him, I'll pay you.
How much?
Money is no object. I'll give you whatever my husband's life is worth.
Well, I can't do it for $2.
Oh, all right, I'll give you $5.
It's a deal.
Gracie, this pool room bum can't help you.
Mind your tongue, Joe. One more word and I shall deal harshly with you.
You're a pool room bum.
That did it. Mr. Goodwin, will you step outside?
Gladly.
Well, that got rid of him. Now, where were we? Oh, yes. I shall arrange an appointment for you with Big Louie. He can save your husband.
Who's Big Louie?
Oh, the king of the underworld. Through my connections at the Billiard Emporium, I happen to know his hideout, whereabouts.
Oh, wonderful. I'll go and see him right away.
One word of caution, and don't breathe this to a soul. Big Louie has been on the lam for several weeks.
Well, that's nothing to be ashamed of. We haven't been able to get beef for months.
Well, Gracie was told where to find Big Louie, the local gangster chief, and has now reached his headquarters. She plans to enlist his help by pretending to be one of his own kind.
Hello. Are you Big Louie?
Yeah, that's right. Who are you?
I'm Little Gracie.
Little Gracie?
Yeah. I'm married to Short George.
I never heard of him. How'd you get in here, anyhow?
Bolingbroke sent me.
Oh, cue ball. Oh, sure, he told me your dame was coming in. What's on your mind?
Well, my husband, Short George, is one of the bunch, see? He's strictly on the up and down, see? He's got himself in a jelly, see?
You mean in a jam?
What, jam, jelly? He's in it up to his puss.
What kind of trouble is it?
He got in a poker game, and John Garfield took him to the presses.
Wait a minute. You mean there's a guy named John Garfield muscling in on a gambling racket?
Yeah. He's a regular scareface. The police are trying to pinch him on the hot seat.
I don't like bad boys in my territory. May have to get tough with this Garfield.
Good. You see, Short George gave him a bad check, and I'm afraid Garfield might try to put spots on him.
Come again.
Thanks, but I'm not leaving yet.
I mean, what was it you said Garfield might try to do to your husband?
Knock his bumps off.
Kill him, huh?
Yeah, rub him down.
What do you want me to do?
Well, you might rub Garfield down first.
I think you got something there. I'll fix that chiseler so he won't hurt nobody.
Good. But he's a killer, so be careful. You pack a goat, don't you?
If that's a gat, yeah, I do.
Well, plug him with your little old 440.
My gun ain't a 440.
The price ain't important.
Okay, just leave everything to me. So long, Skate.
Goodbye, Pan.
Well, Gracie is just arriving at John Garfield's house to tell him he better leave George alone now that he has protection. She knocks on the door. The door opens, and there stands John Garfield.
Yes?
Hello, little boy.
Huh?
Is your father home?
My father?
Yes, John Garfield.
I'm John Garfield.
Well, you may be junior, but I want senior.
Honest, I'm the only John Garfield who lives here.
Oh, dear. Did the cops take your daddy away?
Look, my father's home is in New York. He makes belts for ladies' dresses. They may not be the best belts, but they're not bad enough to get him arrested.
Oh, poor little fellow. Ashamed to admit your daddy's a crook, huh?
He's not a crook. Well, he's never done one single thing that's illegal.
Oh, please.
I mean it. Why, during Prohibition, he was the only guy in the neighborhood who didn't make gin. All the neighbors had to come up to our house to take a bath.
Now, you're a good little boy trying to protect him. But I happen to know that he was in a poker game last night and won a lot of money from my husband.
So that's it. He sent you up here to try to get the money back. Well, it won't work, Mrs. Benny.
I'm not Mrs. Benny. Sonny, I'm Mrs. George Burns.
Well, gee, is he that way, too?
Oh, Sonny, I wish you wouldn't pretend that you play poker. Anyone can see that you're more the post office type.
Oh, Mrs. Burns, I'm considered a very good poker player.
May I give you a little test?
Why, sure.
Do 3 straights of a kind beat a flush house?
Huh?
Aha, naughty boy. I knew you were only fooling.
Wait. I'll settle this. I've still got your husband's check. Here it is.
Yeah. What? It really is.
Now, do you believe I'm John Garfield?
Well, I guess I'll have to.
What's so funny?
Oh, I can hardly wait to tell all my friends that the John Garfield they think is so tough is really a darling boy who hasn't shaved yet.
Mrs. Burns, I have a very heavy beard.
Really? Oh, I bet the other little kids were jealous when you wore it in Halloween.
Look, I wish you'd cut that out. I'm a tough guy. I'm a menace.
Oh, pooh. You've been seeing too many Humphrey Bogart pictures. Goodbye, Johnny.
I'm sorry to bother you at your office, George, but this is really embarrassing. Your wife is telling everybody I'm a child.
Well, that's funny. This morning she thought you were a gangster. What changed her mind?
She got a look at me. It always happens. All the women think I look like a kid. It's not fair.
Of course it isn't.
Well, I can no more help looking young than you can help looking the way you do.
Yeah, I guess so.
It spoils a lot of fun, too. Yesterday, George Raft and Cesar Romero and I were standing on the corner making with the wolf whistles.
Yeah?
Well, Raft got a beautiful blonde, and a blonde, too. Romero got a beautiful brunette.
And you?
I wound up with a red-headed truant officer.
Well, what do you want me to do, John?
Bring Gracie to my house for dinner tonight. I have a plan that will convince Gracie that I really am a menace.
Okay.
You know, I wouldn't have to go through all this trouble if you had any control over your wife.
I do have control over her. I happen to be the boss in my house. What I say goes.
Oh, sure. See you tonight. Oh, how about the $1.10 for this bum check?
Can you see me Thursday?
Why Thursday?
That's the day I get my allowance.
Okay. See you tonight, boss.
Well, George and Gracie had dinner at John Garfield's house, and the two men are now in the middle of their campaign to convince Gracie that John is really a tough character.
Go on, John. What did you do then?
I said, take that, you squealer, and I shot him full of holes.
Gee.
Then I jammed his body in a trunk, put it on the train, and took it back to Brooklyn.
Oh, Johnny, how could you?
Pretty bad, huh?
Oh, yes. You know the government's asking people not to travel.
Gracie, this is nothing to joke about. John is a very desperate character.
Yeah, before I settled down in Hollywood, the bulls were after me all the time.
Yeah, and you gotta be tough to have the bulls after you.
Oh, I don't know. My uncle's cow isn't so tough.
John, tell Gracie about that big job you pulled off.
Oh, yeah. You mean when the mob sent me out to take care of Pretty Boy Floyd and Babyface Nelson?
Pretty boy and Babyface?
Yeah, I sneaked up on them. And before they knew it, I had them covered.
Oh, you sweet boy. I hope you changed and powdered them before you covered them up.
Well, we're going great, John.
Come in.
Are Mr. and Mrs. Burns here?
Oh, come in, Bill. I want you to meet John Garfield. You and Johnny have so much in common.
Oh, they're both handsome actors, huh?
Oh, no.
Look, I am not interested.
Come on and hang up your coat, Bill.
Thanks.
You and Mr. Garfield will have lots to talk about.
Hey, George, here's my chance to show Gracie how tough I am.
What do you mean?
I'll scare the pants off that big curly-headed baby bather.
Well, John, I don't know whether...
Hey, Curly Locks, come here.
Say, just who do you think you're calling Curly Locks?
You, Curly Locks.
Oh, well, it is a mass of ringlets, isn't it?
What do you mean by barging into my house like this?
Well, I'm sorry, sir.
I ought to tie you in knots.
Yes, sir.
I don't like your looks.
I don't blame you, sir.
Now get out of here before I throw you out.
Yes, sir.
Bill, here's your coat. You better leave. You're spoiling everything.
Well, okay. But just one more thing, Mr. Garfield.
What?
Happy New Year.
Oh, Mr. Garfield. Garfield, why do you want people to think you're so tough?
Because if you keep telling people I'm not, it'll hurt me in pictures.
Oh, don't worry about pictures. You get lots of offers now that Donald O'Connor is being drafted.
John, can I speak to you alone for a moment?
Oh, sure. Excuse me, Gracie.
It's not going so well, John.
We're not licked yet, George. What time is it?
7:30.
Good. He's due right now.
Who?
Well, I hired a down-and-out ham actor to come in and pose as a gangster. I'll slap him around, and Gracie will be convinced.
That's funny. I had exactly the same idea.
That must be my stooge now. Let's go.
Oh, sounds like company, Johnny. Isn't it late for your little friends to be up?
Well, I wasn't expecting anyone. Come in.
Elevate your hands. 'Tis I, the masked marauder. Your money or your life?
Drop that gun, you rat. I'll teach you to threaten John Garfield.
Oh, please, Mr. Garfield, have mercy. Oh, you're choking me to death. My neck has been torn from my foul body, and my eyes are bulging from my villainous head.
Oh, bravo, Mr. Bolingbroke. You're giving a great performance.
Thank you, Mrs. Burns. Oh, spare me. My tongue is hanging out.
Wait a minute. Mrs. Burns, you know this man?
Well, yes, he's one of my best friends and a marvelous actor.
Why, you're too kind, dear lady. Oh, it's more than flesh to be cut. I'm dying.
Oh, shut up.
Sir, how dare you interrupt my big scene? The end is near. Blood is pouring from my quivering nostrils.
Shut up, the act's over.
You Hollywood upstarts have no understanding of the soul of an artist. Give me the $5 you promised, and I will go.
Yeah, and I'd like to punch you right in the nose.
Very well, but that'll cost an extra $1.
Get out. All right. I admit I staged that, but Mrs. Burns, I really am a tough guy. Believe me.
Oh, I do believe you. You're terribly tough. You frightened me to death.
Oh, stop.
Don't nobody move. I'm looking for John Garfield.
Oh, my goodness.
Hiya, Skirt.
Hello, Pants.
Huh?
Oh, Mr. Garfield, you better run. This man will kill you.
Hey, George, you picked a good actor. Even your husband thinks he's a gangster.
Huh? But I don't...
Hey, stupid. Are you John Garfield?
No, sir, I'm George Burns.
I guess what fooled me is them guns bulging out of your hip pockets.
Oh, those are not guns. Those are his hips.
Then you must be Garfield.
Yeah, I'm Garfield. Want to make something out of it?
Oh, a tough guy.
Yeah, a tough guy.
John, I didn't hire
You keep out of this or I'll slap your ears down.
Who'll you slap down?
His.
I'd like to see you try it.
Okay.
Who? Wait a minute. You can't slap my friends.
No?
Who? I dare you to slap him again.
It's a deal.
Who? That did it. Now I'm sore.
You're sore?
Well, you touch him once more and I'll throw you out.
Okay.
Oh! I dare you to hit him again.
Oh, please. Garfield, if you get any tougher, George won't have any teeth left.
Stand aside, Gracie. I'm throwing this big palooka right out.
Ow! Ow!
Now get out and stay out.
Oh, my goodness, you really did throw him out.
Of course I did.
Oh, I apologize, Mr. Garfield. Anyone who can throw Big Louie around is really tough.
Big Louie? You mean that was really Big Louie, the king of the underworld?
Oh, sure. Oh, Mr. Garfield. Mr. Garfield, you better get some water. George has fainted. Oh, I guess I'll have to get some water myself.
Gracie, do you know who our guest star is next week?
Who?
Paulette Goddard.
Oh, that's nice. You know, George, you're much handsomer than Cary Grant.
Really, sweetheart? Well, you're much prettier than Paulette Goddard.
It works every time.